It is my great pleasure, because Virginia's for lovers and Virginia's for racing fans, to state, gentlemen, start your engines.
Raceway. Command has been given. Engines are fired. I imagine we'll take some preliminary laps here. Make sure this track is really race ready before we turn them loose, Chuck.
Yeah, and it's looking good. I tell you, there's a whole lot of gray out there. I think it's going to take a few less pace laps than we all anticipated. I think we're going to be green flag racing in the very near future.
So there you see the field, and where our in-car cameras for tonight. We'll have Jeff Bodine giving you some great pictures out of car number 7 as he looks for his 3rd win of the season. Rusty Wallace being out back here. Rusty Wallace getting ready for his go. And Mark Martin trying to win his 2nd race of the season. And out and back tonight, Jeremy Mayfield will be giving us some pictures as well in that fingerhood car, number 98. Now let's take a look at the Haviland starting grid for tonight's race. On the pole with a new record. 2nd time he set on the pole, both times at Richmond. It's Ted Musgrave. Alongside is Hut Strickland. He also broke the old record at 123.8. Great run for Hut. Starting the inside of row 2, it's the Labonte row. There's Terry Labonte on the bottom in his Chevrolet. And on the outside, Bobby Labonte. Getting back to row number 3, and there you find the guy, the defending champion. 1, 2, second another 2, Rusty Wallace. And Greg Sachs, the first man on Hoosiers, on the outside of that row 3. Row 4 tonight, Bobby Hamilton, who got his career going to the Grand National win here on the inside. And alongside Steve Grissom with his best qualifying mark to date in Winston Cup racing. For row 5, there's Jeff Bodine. And outside of Jeff, as we settle down for this start, will be Ken Schrader in another Rick Hendrick car. Row 6 tonight is Rick Mast. Alongside is Dale Earnhardt. Row 7, Jeff Gordon's there with Mark Martin. Getting into row 8, there you find Ward Burton and Todd Bodine. Row 9 for tonight, Kenny Wallace and Derek Cope. In row 10 is John Andretti, and he's in that Richard Petty car again tonight, as he will be at Dover next week. Michael Waltrip there, too. Marlin and Spencer in the row 11 area. Row 12 for tonight, it's Marcus and Jarrett. Row 13, Petty and Bodine. The field gets ready to roll. Row 14 is Mike Wallace and Darrell Waltrip. Row 15, Morgan Shepherd. And Harry Gant has had to go to a backup car. He crashed earlier today, so he'll take the backup automobile to the back of the field. Dick Trickle and Joe Nemechek are in row 16. Row 17 is Ricky Rudd. And Loy Allen makes his first start on a short track this evening here at Richmond. So, row 18 for tonight is Jeff Green, and there's Jeremy Mayfield. And row 19 is Lake Speed and Bill Elliott. That's a provisional start for Elliott. He gets it as a former Winston Cup champion. We'll be back to show you the start in a moment. Stay with us at Richmond International Raceway for the Miller Genuine Draft 400.
I love my new hot rod. Those flames scare the other guys. 5,000 horsepower helps too. And a fat bankroll. You know, we've been running Autolite spark plugs forever, but I could wring more money out of someone else. Money's good. My crew burns it. So I tell the guys we're going to run a different plug. They say no. I say I'm the boss. They say Autolite keeps this monster lit. So I tell them I was just kidding.
Cap of your choice when you buy a case of Haviland.
Robert E. Lee looking over Richmond. 72,000 looking over the Richmond International Raceway. Sold out for months. Everybody wants to get into this racetrack, and for good reason. You don't see better racing than you do here in Virginia on this facility. It's banked 14 degrees in the corners. It's 8 degrees at the start-finish line. It's just about the perfect track. It has all the feel of a super speedway, and yet it gives you all that fender-to-fender, in-your-door confrontational stuff that you expect on a Saturday night, Chuck Bound.
Well, that's true, Ken. It's got a little bit of everything, Richmond. One unique thing about it, for only 14 degrees of banking, it has an extremely good second groove. And with a little bit of luck tonight, we're going to see a whole lot of side-by-side racing. And I don't mean just for a moment. I mean for 4, 5, and 6-lap Little Johnson. It should be exciting.
Update on track conditions. Randy Pemberton.
Well, Dale Earnhardt has radio to his crew, said it is a little bit wet coming off of turn 4 as well as going into turn 1. All other areas are A-OK as far as Earnhardt is concerned. They're going to drop the cars down deep into the bottom going into 1 here. Try and get that dried up. It looks pretty good to me, though.
Well, actually, from up here, you can see it. It is darker down on the inside as you come out of 4 and as you go into 1. Now, remember, as you watch this racetrack, you see there it is, a V-shaped oval, and you see the banking there, that backstretch hardly banked at all. The key here is that third turn is where you really have to nip them. You can really get in there a little too tight. You have to be so careful. The D shape is going into number 1, and you fly down in there, what, 135, 140 miles an hour?
Now, I'd say at least 140, because the pole speed, I think, is around 124. And you actually not only let off the throttle here, you get on the brake quite a bit to slow down to get through the center of these corners. So top speed down those straightaways is moving right along.
They were talking about that in that shopping show, about how you really see the brakes heat up on this track.
Well, yeah, I think less so today than a few years ago, but if the car's not handling well, you'll still see some red brakes. But I think the guys that really know what they're doing and really get them working good can float them through the middle of that corner and get away with a little less brake, especially as cool as it is tonight. And I hope brakes won't be an issue tonight.
Let's take a look at what comprises the field tonight. There you see 5 Pontiacs, 13 Chevys, 20 Fords, as the battle among the manufacturer makes continues in Winston Cup racing this year. Ford's having a pretty good year. Full house standing by to watch this one. Now, these preliminary are none-counting laps. These are none-counting laps. Ford has 16 wins this year. Chevrolet has rung the bell 7 times. Pontiac had 5 wins with Wallace last year alone, and Pontiac really misses Wallace since he switched over to that Ford Thunderbird. Take a look at those manufacturer points at the present time, and that Chevrolet of Earnhardt keeps chugging away out there, but it looks like Ford may be on its way to its 2nd championship in the modern era, which goes back to 1972. Let's take a look at the onboard cameras. And here you are with Jeremy Mayfield out back. You're tailing the field pretty much here with Jeremy Mayfield in the Cale Yarborough car, the Fingerhut car. And here's Rusty Wallace looking him over. Remember, he is on the inside of row 3, 5th position. Outside of him is Greg Sachs. Here's Mark Martin settling down. They say 5 laps before they turn them loose tonight. Mark Martin back in 14th position. And there's Jeff Bodine, ready to go, looking for win number 3 from the 9th starting position, he too on Hoosier tires.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race to see between Goodyear and Hoosier, again, like it has been every week. Hoosier's really been doing their homework and catching up and making Goodyear work hard, but Goodyear still has the numbers out there. There's no question about that.
Now let's talk about the man on the pole for just a moment, Ted Musgrave. Musgrave in that car has had his best finish of a second. He's on the pole at 124.052. The only thing that ever went faster was Bob Stefanik in a modified at about 125. But you can be sure Musgrave will be on the throttle in a moment.
The Miller Genuine Draft 400 is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, home of PDQ, parts delivered quickly. By Kellogg's Corn Flakes, with nutrition, taste, and value. And by Split Fire Spark Plugs.
At Advance Auto Parts, we stock over 50,000 name brand parts for most makes of cars and trucks. Everything from spark plugs to ignition modules and half shafts. In fact, just about the only thing you can't get at Advance Auto Parts are tires.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes?
How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
My truck has 99,000 miles on it, and it's like a brand new engine.
America is talking about split fire.
I feel like I have a new engine.
No hesitation. You hit your passing gear, you're gone. Right now.
Split fire won a United States patent. It doesn't look like any other spark plug. It doesn't work like any other spark plug.
I love them. I have them on my motorcycle, my boat, and my car.
Love them. Love them.
Split fire at $5.99. America knows it only costs more till you use it.
I can say I've saved at least $3 to $4 a week.
Probably getting, I would say about 20 miles more per tank full, and that's a lot for me.
They'll pay for themselves, basically, in the first 6 months you own them.
Split fire. It only costs more till you use it. Here's another split fire breakthrough. Twin core wire sets with a dual firing path to every plug. More power and more mileage or your money back.
Light is off on the pace car. Doyle Ford has green flag in hand. This time will get a start when they come down out of turn 4. A report on Harry Gant's car from Dick Berger.
Who is running his last race here, Ken, has just radioed to his crew saying potential drive shaft problems. He has not taken a single lap in this backup car so far, and there is a vibration in the rear end.
Pace car about to come in, ready for a start. Musgrave, Strickland, front row, the Bobby brothers coming down in row 2. Wallace and Sachs, row 3. Hamilton squares off against Grissom, row 4. Bodine and Schrader, row 5. We have green. Clean start.
Everybody's going straight. There was a bit of a slow up in the back.
Got one car down. It's 28. Kenny Wallace. Yellow is out. Kenny Wallace down just off the bottom side of turn 2 as he came down through there. Kenny Wallace looping the Robert Yates car. Yellow is out after one lap. Back to the stripe. First time Hut Strickland has led this year is right now as he comes to the line. In fact, the last time that Hut Strickland led, that was June '93 back at Michigan. Hut Strickland out in front with the Travis Carter car as we go to caution for car number 28. Kenny Wallace, winner last night, has trouble on lap number 1 as we get it underway. Fires. Let's see how it looks as he brings it around. Another look at what happened.
He's already around. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like they jammed up at the very back of the pack, and from here I couldn't see that the 28 car was turned around. I didn't even realize it. I'm sure he went down a lap. That's going to be a tough day for Kenny. It's going to be hard to make that lap up in this league.
We'll check and see if he's gone down a lap on car 28. That hurts. One lap down. Really hurts. A lot of time to make it up.
He started back there near the middle of the pack. I'm not really sure what happened, but they just must have jammed up. I thought most of them would take it a little bit easy with the wetness, but you never know.
Rick Benjamin has a word for us.
Word is that Kenny Wallace is radioing to his crew saying the toe-in is off on the front end. We suspect he might have knocked something askew when he spun. Looked like he might have gotten up on the curbing down on the inside. We see him dropping back now. Apparently they're going to have to adjust that car.
Pace car's in. We're back under green. And on the jump, Hut Strickland looking really strong. Nose is out in front. Musgrave, for the moment, stays in second. Here comes Labonte after him for third. For second. And there's Jeff Bodine under Sachs. Look at Terry Labonte working on the bottom and taking over in second spot, and Wallace eyeing that inside hole. On board with Rusty Wallace. Working lap 6. Bodine breaking through for him. Or rather, Labonte breaking through for him. Here's Hamilton in the number 40, scooting to the bottom.
Yeah, Bobby's looking pretty racy, too. His car's running good. He wants to get up there and mix it up for that lead, too. Looks like Terry's going to take a look here.
Terry Labonte on the bottom side, car number 5. Goes after Strickland, bags him. This is in lap 7. Wallace lies 3rd. Hamilton 4th. Musgrave falls back to 5th. Bobby Labonte in 6th.
Well, I think they've been able to run just enough laps now to kind of sense what the track is and what kind of car they have and how it's going to work. And now they can get down to business and work their way to the front.
Here comes the 3 on the inside, working for 8th. Greg Sachs in the 77 under some pressure. Jeff Gordon coming along. Earnhardt picking his way through. Now looks to the outside. Cuts back for the bottom of the racetrack. Coming down to turn 3 where you can really pinch him, and Earnhardt works his way into the bottom line. Let Sachs know he's there.
It might be rubbing here pretty soon. Good old Richmond racing.
Earnhardt shoots up through the inside, and he has Sachs. Here's a battle for 4th. Hamilton under Wallace. Wallace, who's won this race the last 2 times and had 2nd in that Pontiac Excitement 400 in the spring. Still even. Look at Hamilton. He had to take an extra cut going into turn number 1.
They were definitely doing a little wiggling entering the first turn there. They're going at it pretty hard for so early in the race.
140 miles an hour down into that first turn of this 3/4-mile track. Richmond International Raceway. Race delayed an hour and a half by rain. Now underway. Battle is up here. It's car number 23, Strickland, in 2nd place. Bobby Hamilton trying to chase him down in the number 40. And Wallace right there with him.
Bobby's making a move. He's going to that 2nd position, it looks like. And then we'll see if he can do anything with Terry Labonte. He's definitely running fast right now.
Boy, Bobby Hamilton. Remember when he won that Grand National race back here in 91?
Yeah,
it really got his career underway. You raced against him.
Yeah, I was one of them he beat. I remember that well.
Hamilton on Hoosiers and looking good. Here's Rusty Wallace getting around Strickland. On board from Wallace's view out the back. One quick caution as we're underway as Kenny Wallace got it around under heavy braking. Here's 22 and 16 in a war. That's 5th place. Musgrave in the 16 on the bottom, and trying the high side is Bobby Labonte.
It's going to take him very long to move to the outside and see what they can do out there, and it looks like it's going to come in pretty fast. As it
Up
usually
from
does
9
here at Richmond.
comes Jeff Godine. He's in 7th with car number 7. And right behind him from 12 comes Earnhardt. Boy, look at this jam session. Talk about some tight racing. Jeff Gordon wants to mix it up. Rick Mast is in there, the pole sitter at Indianapolis this year. It all started out as a battle for 5th between 2 guys, Musgrave and Labonte. They collected some friends.
I think what happens, the front 2 cars got to run side by side. They lose just about 2 tenths a lap. That's not much, but that's all those others reeling right in and getting right in the thick of it, put on a good show.
This battle 2 tenths of a second back from the leader. Leader continues to be Terry Labonte. Lap 15 complete. And look at this picture. As you see, on the outside, Jeff Gordon carefully deploying that 24 and moving through the field. Gets up on the 7 car, trying to get around him on the outside as they come down into turn number 1. Almost 3 wide. Bobby Labonte looking good in the 22. Jeff Gordon goes high. Here comes Earnhardt. Found that hole on the inside.
That was a good little camera angle there. Nice little blog by Gordon. Doing what he has to do to stay up there.
Knows he has Earnhardt behind him. He tries to contain him. From Bodine. Looking over. This is still that 5th place squabble. Hard to keep that much horsepower hitched up, not get any tire spin. area.
Yeah, that's the hard one to get off on the outside. Now, turn 4, you can get a little better run up off that corner down the front straightaway with that arch. But they're going at it pretty good here. They're pretty equal. I'm not sure who's going to win out on this deal. Looks like Jeff has the edge right now, but I'm not sure Bobby's done. Yeah, he's going to tuck down behind him, I guess.
Bodine, 5th. Bobby Labonte back to 6th. 7th. The 24 scoots to the inside. Gordon finds a hole. He's there. And Earnhardt looks him over. Now Earnhardt tries the outside. Here's Earnhardt trying to stack him up 3 wide. He'll settle for 2, and he'll move under Bobby Labonte if he can. Moving pick out there, and Gordon for Earnhardt. Now Earnhardt slides back in. Here's Randy with an update on Earnhardt's car.
Well, from pit road, folks, you can see the brake rotors blowing on these cars already. The first one to point it out to their driver was crew chief Andy Petrie for Dale Earnhardt. He radioed to him. He said, Dale, easy on the brakes. They're already red hot. Dale said, I hear you. So that's it. But we'll try to get a closer look on that on camera later on tonight. But they do blow here at night.
You know, a lot of the drivers, and I believe Dale's one of them, brake with the left foot, and when you're in that heavy traffic, really racing hard like he was, you sometimes accidentally ride that brake, and you need to be reminded by your team that, you know, they're getting hot, and you can quit riding it, and sometimes that'll get rid of that orange glow in a hurry.
Take a look at Earnhardt trying to work his way around car number 22, Bobby Labonte. Bobby giving that car a tremendous ride, and there, for the moment, is your leader. There's Terry Labonte in the 5, staying in front. This is lap 24 complete, coming to the stripe. And there you see the second place man, Bobby Hamilton. Interval between first and second. Hamilton hangs right in there. What a ride he's giving it. Right to the wall goes Terry Labonte. Had to pick it up out there.
Yeah, and I think that distance between first and second might be closing up just a little bit. Terry's setting off a good pace, but that 40 car is, boy, he's trying hard to reel it in. I think he is just ever so slowly.
And there's the third place cars. You see the interval there, back to Rusty Wallace with 25 laps complete. Boy, he really has to square that car up. Look at Bill Elliott coming up through. Remember, he started last tonight. And he's up to 26th position, working on Ricky Rudd in car number 10.
I'm pretty impressed with that run. His car must be working pretty good. That's hard to do here at Richmond. Those other cars are pretty fast, too, but Bill's giving him a good ride tonight.
An hour ago, we told you that Bill Elliott had some sort of an eye infection. Had an effect not only on his eye, but it swelled up the side of his head. His vision is not impaired. But Tommy Houston tried to qualify the car, had no luck, and he had to take a provisional start. Elliott in the back of the field tonight. Look at Rick Mass down to the bottom. He's scooting up through. Works his way into 8th. Bobby Labonte back there in 9th. There you see Mark Martin right with him in 10th. And Mark Martin goes to the inside in that Ford. Couple more, another lap to 30 on board with Mark Martin. Looks at Bobby Labonte, tries to hook it up to get underneath.
He's walking by. You know, everybody. I don't know if Bobby's starting to fade just a little bit. Maybe his car's not quite exactly what he wanted it to be when the race started, but there's a long way to go. There'll be pit stops, and everybody will be able to make some adjustments. And I would imagine that first pit stop, a lot of them will be making adjustments because they're guessing what they're going to need today.
Get an update on Kyle Petty's number 42 from Rick Benjamin.
Ken, it sounds like there's problems in the 42 automobile tonight. Kyle has told his crew he's lost an oil pump belt. At least he thinks that's what's wrong with the car. Looks like he's going to be heading pitward in just a moment. We're told now he's headed to the back garage area with the 42 with the mellow yellow Pontiac. So Kyle Petty out of the action, at least at the moment.
Got one car in the wall, and it's torn off a tire, I believe, on car number 98.
Jeremy Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield, who started out back, has hit the wall, and he punched it hard. Jeremy Mayfield slamming into the third turn wall. Second caution tonight. This is at lap 31. And the back of 95 is showing some damage as well as it comes down. Jeff Green
Looks like he's got a flat right front tire. Jeremy was moving around in there. Looked like he was trying to get it going, but I think the car hit hard enough that I don't think he's going to be able to drive it into the pits.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Jeremy, who's moved over to that Cale Yarborough team.
Here they come.
Get himself out of that thing.
On the
front of the field coming down onto pit road.
This is probably a blessing for all these teams, not for Jeremy and the 95 car, but for all these guys that get to come in early and make an adjustment now that they kind of know what they have and get prepared for the next little jaunt here.
The track was washed off, heavy shower came, and the temperature dropped dramatically.
Yeah, it really
7
did.
degrees. First and second place pit. There you see on the top the number 5, Terry Labonte, on the bottom, Bobby Hamilton. And Rusty Wallace is on pit road already. Buddy Parrott and company, they've done it again. There comes Labonte out. Hamilton, Jeff Gordon.
Looks like pit road just a little bit slippery as they hit the end of the pit there. They're sliding around a little bit.
We'll take a commercial break and be back to Richmond International Raceway. Second caution of the night in the Miller Genuine Draft 400. Mayfield hard in the wall. He's okay.
We've won more races in the history of Trans Am. We've won more races in the history of NASCAR. Fact is, we've won more races over the last 30 years than any other automotive company. Have a nice day.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
Sprint cars, NASCAR, Indy cars, through the years, I've driven them all.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
One thing I've learned, no matter what you drive, you've got to take care of it. Haviland is the one.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer, even if you haven't been driving as long as Mario. Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car. Get a free Mario Andretti or Nigel Mansell cap when you buy a case of Haviland. Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Sunday on Award Theater. Eastwood.
I don't think it's nice, you laughing.
The movie that made Clint Eastwood an international star.
Money to be made in a place like this?
A fistful of dollars.
He's dynamite.
The Western myth would never be the same.
What's wrong, Ramon? Losing your touch?
A fistful of dollars. 10:35 Eastern Sunday on TBS.
Well, after the stop on pit road, there you see the top 6. Rusty Wallace, who went in third, comes out in the lead. Labonte finds himself back in second. Bobby Hamilton now in third. Then Gordon, Strickland, Bodine in the top 6. That's with 33 complete. And we can give you a bit of a replay as to what happened to Jeremy Mayfield. It was just the end of it as he gets a big piece of the wall in car number 98. Takes the front and rear end.
Yeah, you know, the 95 had a flat tire at the same time, so I have no idea if the two got together or exactly what happened, but there's a big problem with the 98 car. They probably couldn't be done for time.
Replaced Derek Cope in that ride, and that's only his 7th time out. Hard knock in the wall. Let's go down to pit road.
Wallace in the number 28 car is having his problems for sure. The toe-in is knocked out by about a ½ inch, Ken, and he's already made a couple of stops. Planning on doing some more. The whole crew is on the wall here. They've got jack stands in hand. That usually means it's going to be a few minutes, not a few seconds, for the pit stop.
So there's the story on the latest on that Kenny Wallace incident when he spun on the very first lap. Now let's go to the STV Pit Center. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, thanks, Ken. We're joined by Governor George Allen of the state of Virginia. Governor, good to have you with us again this year.
It's great to be here, and it's great to have you all here.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity. You've been very active trying to promote tourism in the state of Virginia.
Right.
How important is this race?
Oh, this is the largest gathering for any reason, sports or otherwise, in the history of Virginia. We broke the record in the spring race, and now the Sawyers have added even more seats on here at the Richmond International Raceway. I told Mr. Sawyer, if you put a old milking stool here, they could sell that. It's absolutely packed. The weather hasn't had an impact other than slowing down the start of the race.
Have we made you a Winston Cup race fan yet?
Oh, yeah, I always have been. I've always very much enjoyed it. These race fans that come into Virginia or any place that there's a race, it's just great for our local economy, the hotels, the restaurants, gas stations. And they're good folks, too. And we in Virginia obviously think a great deal of racing. We have our own race car, Virginia's for Lovers race car, runs on the Grand National circuit, and we're doing very well. And so Virginia's for lovers as well as race fans.
Well, congratulations, Governor, on a great turnout tonight. We wish you well in the rest of your term in office.
Well, thank you so much.
Governor George Allen with us tonight. The leaders have been very busy on pit road. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, as far as up at this end of pit road, we have Dale Earnhardt as well as Ted Musgrave and Terry Labonte. Earnhardt was complaining about pushing coming off the corner, so they took a roundup bike out of that car, hoping to correct that problem. Ted Musgrave, not a good pit stop there. They had the jack fall on that car, so he lost several spots. He was 10th. He's back now about 14th or 15th. Terry Labonte had a flawless pit stop. He's back out in the way. So other than that, that's it. Dick Berger?
At the other end of things, it couldn't have gone better for Rusty Wallace. They had a pit stop of around 17 seconds. Flawless for 4 tires and a full load of fuel. The tires they took off looked real good. Right next to him, Hut Strickland also did a 4-tire change. A good, fast 4-tire change. No problems there either. They're in the front of the pack as a result.
Falling back at the present time in the race, we have 38 laps complete. The car that's set on the pole now finds himself back in 14th position. Ted Musgrave sliding back through the field, made a real good start, but it isn't staying up tonight for Musgrave. It's falling back at the present time. He's got some work to do.
Well, he might be all right. They say it was a little bit of a jack problem on the pit stop, and that cost him some positions on the racetrack, but you know, Ken, that governor looked awfully young, or am I just getting older? What's the deal here?
No, Virginia's for lovers. And this state of Virginia, 72,000, they've added about 6,000 or 8,000 seats to this Richmond International Raceway for every seat. Those are the seats. That doesn't include the suites, and they keep adding those as well. Now, they'll be up to 100,000 here in a few more years, no question about it. Another great throng out tonight to enjoy this race, and an incredible crowd last night on Friday night to see Kenny Wallace win that race over Mark Martin. Great Grand National battle. Elliott's come from 38th to 22nd as we're 1 lap away from the start. And as they get ready to go, it will be Rusty Wallace first, Terry Labonte second, Hamilton, followed by Gordon, Hut Strickland. Then comes Jeff Bodine 6th, Mark Martin 7th, Earnhardt, Rick Mast 9th, and you'll have Bobby Labonte 10th, Grissom in 11th, Schrader, Todd Bodine 13th, Musgrave 14th, and Greg Sachs 15th as we get ready for a go. Light comes off on the pace car. If you're new to racing, that's indicative that we're just about ready to get back underway here. And you see the 28 of Kenny Wallace diving down. He'd like to get that lap made up that he lost when he spun on the first lap of the race. Crowd up and ready.
I don't think Rusty will cut him any slack here, though. He's going to have to earn it to get that lap back.
The Wallaces side by side, but probably not for long. Green is out. Rusty has the jump, and Terry Labonte comes with him. Green coming back out at 41. Bobby Hamilton doing a good job on that number 40. And look at Mark Martin making up time. Earnhardt right with him. Down to the inside comes Jeff Bodine. Puts it right in stay dry on the bottom of the track as he tries to find a little running room. Here comes Earnhardt. Got it. So it's Earnhardt up to 6 on board with Jeff Bodine. Trying to counter Dale Earnhardt.
Dale's going to take all advantage of this new set of tires at the end.
Right down on the inside. Bodine trying to hold on to him. Looks under Hut Strickland. Strickland running in fifth. Here comes Earnhardt to the outside. You may see a few sparks fly here. Earnhardt trying to pull by. Bodine staying right with him, low on the track. Lap cars, Kenny Wallace just in front. And look at this lead battle. Rusty Wallace on the high side, down on the bottom. Terry Labonte.
Bobby Hamilton will try to go right with him.
So it's Terry Labonte back in the lead. And here comes Bobby Hamilton for second place. Watching it live on TBS, Richmond International Raceway is where it's happening tonight. Lap 45, now complete, of 400 to be run.
As we watch Bobby Hamilton try to hang on and chase down Terry Labonte, who's run up front. Word is that on that pit stop, the Hoosier tires they took off the car were blistered. He's got new skins. He's going for the lead.
Hamilton nearly colliding with car number 5. And Labonte wisely gave him a little room, and Bobby shoots down the inside and takes first place. Terry Labonte in second. Rusty Wallace is in third. It's Gordon in fourth. Further back in fifth, Strickland, Earnhardt, and look at Earnhardt work the bottom of that racetrack. Gosh, does that car work well.
It's pretty strong.
Pleasure to watch.
I understand that's a brand new car they've got here tonight, and I think Dale's been pretty happy with it so far in practice. And right now, it looks like it's getting the job done pretty good. He's on the move.
Strickland, who started outside of the front row, now under challenge from Bodine. And Bodine barges down to the bottom, and he's riding wheel to wheel down the main straightaway. Riding about 140 miles an hour into turn number 1. Give it to the side. Change some paint out here. Really tightens up coming off turn number 2. You've got to be so careful off that second corner.
On the inside, really has to give the guy on the outside a little bit of a respect, or they're going to bounce him right into the wall. It happens a lot. Pretty easy over there. You just kind of got to work together.
Bodine in 6th, Strickland in 7th. Here comes Martin trying to take that 7th position. Mark Martin with only 1 win this year. Remember Watkins Glen a year ago? It turned it all around. He won those 4. They won this year at the Glen, but it hasn't repeated since. Take a look at this screen. 75, 22. Grissom in the 29. Take a look at the Napa field standings early in the going. We've completed 50 on the track for you. Take a look at the Napa standings back to the field for all of your favorites. As Grissom in the 29 pulls up on Bobby Labonte in 22. If you're new to racing, this kid Grissom out of Gadsden, Alabama, did a grand job in Grand National a year ago. He's moved up into Winston Cup in 4 races this year of the 23 that have been running prior to tonight. He's been the top rookie finisher. Now look at Brett Bodine in the 26, fighting with pole sitter Musgrave. And at 7th pole. Back again. Mark Martin and Strickland in another war. At 7th place at stake. And Martin has it this time.
Looks like he's finally cleared him. He's able to pull over to that outside wall and get a better entrance into the 3rd turn. He should be able to pull away now, maybe see if he can get up there to 5th. Earnhardt's trying to reel in that first group of cars. It should be getting pretty interesting for the lead here pretty quick, I hope.
Up in front, Bobby Hamilton shows the way. Coming around for 54. Here is your leader, Hamilton, followed by Labonte, and you can see just behind Jeff Gordon in 4th. Here comes Earnhardt. As you said, Chuck, he is reeling those guys in. Bobby Hamilton stays first. Best career finish was in 91. He had a 6 at Rockingham back when he was a rookie campaigner in Winston Racing. So the front 5 gather it up. Here's 17 and 10 at it another time. Waltrip on the outside of Ricky Rudd. 19th position there. Earnhardt moving ever closer up in front on Gordon at this time. If we watch this battle a little further back, and you see just behind them, number 11, here's Elliott from 38. He's up to 21st.
He's steadily picking them off.
Ricky Rudd, number 10, wanted to do well tonight for Landon Lee. Landon's 3 weeks old now. He took the green flag at 8 pounds, 3 ounces. Landon's home watching tonight. Didn't feel he wanted to go to the show.
He's catching it on WTV.
That's right. Congratulations to 2 wonderful people, Ricky Rudd and Landon Lee. Here's Ricky down to the bottom. He will not let go of Walter. Rick Benjamin standing by with Jeremy Mayfield.
Again, in the SCP Big Communications Center, Jeremy Mayfield, one of the early retirees. You whacked the wall a ton. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I hate it for all the people at Finger Hut. You know, really felt like we had a good run going. We come up a little short in qualifying. I feel like we had a good car, and just came up short tonight.
This is an opportunity for you. You've just moved into the Cale Yarbrough car several weeks ago. How do you like it so far?
So far, things are going good. You know, like I said, we messed up a little bit in qualifying here. Really felt like we had a good race car, better than what we were showing, and just kind of biding our time and seeing this guy from under me getting into 3 over there and put it in the wall. And I'll tell you for all the people in Finger Hut.
All right, wish you luck in the future. Jeremy Mayfield, the driver who Cale Yarbrough says has a ton of raw talent.
Said he just couldn't let him go. Really made a fight for him and could end up in a court suit. T.W. Taylor very unhappy about losing him. Greg Sachs losing 18th position. Sliding back as Waltrip takes the high side and Ricky Rudd comes with him. And Elliott looking him over. What a run Elliott's made from the rear in the Junior Johnson car. Well, here's Rusty Wallace in 3rd spot. Jeff Gordon with him, and here comes Earnhardt. Ever the challenger. Earnhardt to the outside on Jeff Gordon.
Wonder the waves that they took out of Earnhardt's car must have helped out just a little bit.
I guess so. He just motors down to the bottom.
He is running.
That brings Earnhardt up to 4th spot. Gordon back to 5th. Wallace in 3rd. Terry Labonte 2nd. Bobby Hamilton deployed in the lead. Wallace. Hold him off here. Got his hands full. Rusty Wallace. Is Earnhardt laying back?
No, he's not cruising. He's running hard. He's running as hard as you can get those Chevrolet to run. How hard are you running your car? I'm running as hard as I can get that Ford to run.
Guess they're running hard. Here's Earnhardt.
Is there any other way to do it?
No other way. Take a look at this as Grissom works his way. He's in 13th. Bodine, Labonte. Lead battle beginning to shape up. Hamilton coming after Terry Labonte.
I think Terry just slipped by Hamilton, Ken. Hamilton slipped by Terry earlier on the restart and pulled away a little bit, but then they kind of leveled out. And Terry reeled him back in and just slipped on by him. So I don't know if this is a tire situation or a chassis situation, but Bobby's strong in the short run. Terry's a little stronger in the long run.
13th position here. The 22 and the 26 at it. That's Brett Bodine down on the bottom. Musgrave mustering some more power and getting back into this scrap. Remember, he's fallen back from the pole. And the 43's getting up into this one. Here comes John Andretti. He's got one more ride, we believe, at Dover with Petty. Nothing has been secured about that ride yet, but what a combination of names, Petty and Andretti, together on this car number 43. John's giving it a good ride tonight. With more on the 43 car, here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken, we understood earlier from one of the STP team's key representatives that both Richard Petty and John Andretti are in hard negotiations about next year, and they're hoping to work out a deal this week. So it looks as though Andretti may have found a permanent spot in that car.
Second place changing quickly as Earnhardt gets under the 40. Puts Hamilton away and drives off. That car is just amazing. That number 3, when it's right, it's dead on. It looks like Bobby Hamilton, or rather Kenny Wallace last night. Now here's Bobby Hamilton fading high, and Rusty Wallace getting down to the bottom, trying to make up some ground.
Yeah, Gordon's going to follow him right on through. It looks like the 40 car is giving up a little bit. I don't know if it's chassis or tires, but it's starting to back up some.
Gives up 2 spots, moves back to 5th. Closing. Earnhardt on Labonte for first place. 71 complete. 2 cautions thus far in the event. Richmond International Raceway, as from 12th position, Dale Earnhardt has moved his way up to 2nd. Look at this fight. Grissom down to the inside on Rick Mast. And he's away and clear. We'll hear a lot more. That number 1 of Mast was in 12th. Gave it up. Grissom moving in, and here's 75 right in front of him. Todd Bodine.
Yeah, it looks like Terry Labonte's finally caught the rear end of the field. He's starting to have to lap some cars. It took a long time. These cars just aren't running that much different speeds.
There's Bobby Hamilton coming in off the pace. I guess you call that one right, Chuck.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be looking for some tires. Didn't we hear Dick or Randy talk about a blister tire on that first little short run that we had? Boy, that could be a long night if that's the case.
And Michael Waltrip, who's been running 29th, he's pitted at about the same time and come back on the track. Michael Waltrip in. This is at lap 73. Here's Randy.
Well, absolutely 4 tires. We documented the fact that he had blistered tires on the very first pit stop. He's run just about 35 laps. The right side tire is already on. The jack goes around to the left side. It has been a concern all season long. Jeff Bodine has been able to make the Hoosiers work. Nobody else has been able to make them work consistently. And he's down in the way on the 40 car. 20.9. Not a bad pit stop, but he is a lap down at least.
So Kenny Wallace a lap down, and now Bobby Hamilton suffers the same fate. Labonte and Earnhardt spurring off up front. 75 laps complete.
You know, Rusty was fortunate enough to have a super fast pit stop, and he already got to lead this race and get his bonus points. And I'm sure Dale's probably looking for those 5 more points. You know, he's working for the Terry. But he's got his work cut out. Terry's running pretty good.
Number 30 with new rubber on, trying to go up and challenge. Takes a very high line. Whoops.
I'm not sure if he just got in a little hard there and got up into the marbles, and it just kind of went for a long slide. I'm sure he'll get the right front tire cleaned off and come back to running fast here in a minute, but that didn't work too good down there.
That's a deep breath. He's still got a handful. He had to take a couple of chops up there in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, once you take a line up there in the debris on the racetrack, it coats the tire pretty good, where it takes about a lap to get it cleaned off at full speed. So I think he'll be okay now.
Well, it's still darting a little for him out there. Michael Waltrip is down 2 laps. And here's Darrell Waltrip in 17, still looking strong as he continues to mosey on up through the field. He has just passed the 1 car and taken over in 16th position. So old DW having a pretty good night. To look at the leader here, it's Terry Labonte fighting his way up beside Lake Speed. And we'll be back to Richmond International Raceway as we complete 80 with more shortly.
There's only one beer with pure refreshment written all over it. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft and MGD Light. Why so many people are getting out of the old and into the cold.
The car on the right was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the other with conventional oil. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes?
How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Liquid Wrench, non-flammable with Teflon, thousands of uses around your home, shop, and car. And by STP, Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner, STP, drive a better car. And by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. Auto Week is first with all the news every week. Call 1-800-851-2600 for your subscription.
We're showing 85 laps now complete. Here you see Terry Labonte still leading as he puts a lap on Joe Nemechek. Earnhardt runs in second place just behind him. Dale trails by about 1 5/10 of a second. That's the difference between the number 5 car and the number 3 of Earnhardt, currently in second with Wallace third and Gordon in fourth. Further back in the field, remember the story we were telling you about on car number 40? How he was leading, doing so well. Bobby Hamilton up there fighting in those front running positions, then made that pit stop. Came down, changed tires. I believe they discovered they were blistered. We can get more on the story of Bobby Hamilton from Dick Berger.
Well, Ken, both Hoosier and Goodyear came to this race with a brand new tire, one that had never been run in competition before. Hoosier, in fact, came with a brand new design. They call it asymmetrical. Real complicated to explain. I really don't totally understand it, but here's an asymmetrical tire that came off the back of Ward Burton's car. As you can see, it's blistered. Jeff Bodine was the Hoosier tester. He is still out there. Apparently no problems there. The Goodyear cars also came with a new tire. No testing whatsoever. Test is going on right there, right now, on the racetrack. The 7 just radioed in. No problem with tires.
Labonte continues to lead. He's on Goodyear's. But the story is this Bodine. He is amazing on tires. That's Jeff Bodine, the driver of car number 7. I don't think anyone takes as good care of his tires as Bodine. Here you see him.
Yep. Jeff Bodine has a real talent for that, not only as a driver, but also as a chassis man. He's able to overcome maybe slightly too soft a compound and make it work, make him live on his car. He doesn't abuse him. He sets the car up properly, and it's paying off. Dick said he radioed in, said no problem, and he's holding on to 5th place where most of the other Hoosier cars have already been on pit road. So it's a real credit to Jeff Bodine.
Mark Martin trying to take that spot away. Martin back there in 6th. Is it almost a natural instinct thing to be able to take care of tires like Bodine does?
I think it's a lot of short track experience over the years. A lot of times you get to pick whatever tire you want to run, and some of them are much softer than others. And if you can figure out how to make those soft gun balls live, you can win a lot of races a little bit easier. And I think Jeff has some of that experience down deep in his basket.
Well, he's had 2 wins this season, pretty impressive. He also leads the list in DNFs this year. Has not much to do with the tires, of course, but that's one that he's trying to work out and get some longevity out of his car.
Yeah, that's just, part of the pains of owning your own team for the first time.
Yeah,
or a little bad luck.
Or meeting your brother at Indianapolis. Mark Martin back to the inside. We'll take another look through the field for you. Show you where everybody's running out here. A lot of good racing. Just joining us, hour and a half, rain delay. So we started a little bit late tonight, but we're getting a great race at Richmond International Raceway. Sold out for months, 72,000 seats. They could have easily sold another 15 to 20,000 for tonight's program. They keep adding them, and folks keep showing up. Set through the rain, had a good time, came out here, seeing a good race. As you see Martin pulling away from Jeff Bodine. Mark Martin finds himself 5th. Relegates Bodine back to 6th. Mark Martin. And Sometimes the conversation is about what happens in these tire wars and who suffers the most. What about the tire war? Nobody is more opinionated about it than this man right here. Mark Martin in car number 6 has stated his case several times. You haven't caught up with it. Take a listen.
Safety suffers when you race tires. Common sense will tell you, if a man's building a race tire and somebody else builds one faster, the man that's building this tire has got to do something. And when he's got to do something, sometimes you get into some territory that you're not completely and totally familiar with that you think will be fine and isn't. You shouldn't be racing tires.
You shouldn't be making war with tires, is how I've always felt. Only people that get hurt in a tire war are drivers.
They're no fun when you're a race car driver, that's for sure, but it's awful hard to tell somebody, hey, you shouldn't be here, or you're not supposed to be here, because this is America.
Make them as hard as hockey pucks and put all you guys out there and make you fight on equal stuff. I like that kind of racing. Here's Mark Martin in car number 6, staying 5th on the field. Trying to close in a bit here.
He looks pretty smooth on that steering wheel. He's not having to work it too awful hard.
Roush gives him good stuff, that's for sure. Labonte first, Earnhardt second, Wallace third, Jeff Gordon. That's who he's trying to close on at the present time. Goodyear's up in the front 5. Jeff Bodine is the first Hoosier car. He's back in 6th spot. We'll see 100 laps complete this time by. With Chuck Bown alongside, I'm Ken Squire here at Richmond International Raceway in the STP Pit Center. Rick Benjamin tonight, Dick Bergman, Randy Pemberton with us. Bring you all the action. Joe Nemechek going down another lap. Boy, Martin threw that one high.
He's working his way through the lap cars. He's trying to keep the next guy up there, Jeff Gordon, in sight. And Jeff's running pretty good, too.
Watching these top runners of this baseball strike line. Take a look at the leaders thus far in the race. Terry Labonte jumped right out there. Earnhardt taking a crack at leading this. Wallace has had a crack at it tonight. Gordon's had a little shot at first. Martin to get back through this field. Leaders thus far we've seen out here at Richmond International Raceway. We're talking about Ernie Irvan a moment ago, hearing that he is better. I heard that he was on the phone with Earnhardt and says, don't tell him I've retired. Sounds like he's getting better. Yeah. Ernie Irvan, if you're listening tonight up in Michigan, everybody here sure wishes you're back and back soon. There's the interval between first and second, Labonte and Earnhardt. You know, Chuck, one of the things that has impressed me most about Winston Cup racing this year, I saw at Pocono, Pennsylvania. And when you hear all the story about these baseball players going on strike, first I'd like to see them out there with placards in front of the stadium or something. But these guys, Earnhardt, this man right here, 2 hours before they're going to go out and put their life right on the line, he's signing autographs. He's standing in the back of the NASCAR trailer with a line of people, 300 deep. There's Rusty Wallace in the back of his, and there was Ernie Irvan. And some fan came up and gave Ernie Irvan such a hard time that they had to get an officer to take the guy away, and Ernie Irvan stayed there and kept on signing autographs. I defy you to find that in baseball.
I think race drivers have to work so hard to make it in this business. There's so many people wanting your job or looking for the opportunity with the short tracks all over the country. And NASCAR sanctioned races everywhere. It's just amazing how much dues you have to pay to get here, and it's pretty hard to get the big heads and stuff everybody off. It's a real compliment to get asked for autographs. Although I think it gets sometimes a little crazy in NASCAR, but these guys are awfully good about it.
And incidentally, they weren't charging $10 or $20 an autograph either. Let's get Randy quickly on Dale Earnhardt. There may be a tire situation developing here.
Well, I'll tell you what the discussion was. Dale Earnhardt did go over the radio, and these guys talk in very short bursts when they're on the radio. Just like everybody else, we listen to scanners, we try to interpret what they say. He was talking about a right front tire possibly going down. I've lost it. The crew did scurry around a little bit, but I don't believe it's Dale Earnhardt. In fact, he was riding behind the 12 car, and he was backing up. I think it was on the 12 car, Rick Benjamin. Can you enlighten any more on that? I don't know.
Oh, Randy, we're understanding that they're going to try to adjust the rear track bar on Earnhardt's car. That's the second car we've heard of. They want to try to make some rear-end adjustments, apparently, on the 3 car when he makes his next pit stop.
Notice how low that Earnhardt sits in that car, Chuck. I mean, he's all the way down in that thing.
Yeah, and he's really not that short of a man. He must be, I'm not sure how tall Dale is, but I'll bet he's, you know, close to 6 foot, maybe even a hair more, and he sits lower than some of the guys that are 5'7". He really likes to get himself down there low in that racetrack.
Watching Earnhardt in second spot. Labonte stays up in the lead. Rusty Wallace maintaining third. They're showing...
with Dale, if he really does want to move that Panhard bar, and if it's holding the car up that much, boy, the field might be in trouble. If he's that far off, he could still sit out there and run second.
110 laps as you watch Ricky Rudd under pressure from Rick Mast in car number 1. Well back on the field, the 10 car. He has not had a good night tonight. Trying to get that one to work, and they went back right to fundamentals. They were running very well, and they got here and then backed up. Now here's a battle for 19th position as you watch Sterling Marlin and Musgrave. Musgrave was the pole sitter if you're just joining us. And at lap 110, he finds himself struggling to stay in the top 20.
And we just saw a glimpse of Terry Labonte up in front of those guys, so he has put both of them down a lap already. He's really setting a heck of a pace. That's too bad for the pole sitter to be down a lap.
From the high side, you see the second-place car, Earnhardt, closing in to put Musgrave a lap down and go look for the former Daytona 500 winner, Sterling Marlin. More from the Miller Genuine Draft 400 after this.
If you think Sunday night means the weekend is over, hold on. The last great adventure of the weekend, National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern, every Sunday night, only on TBS.
50-yard line, Super Bowl tickets, Euro, my spot, first in line. Who are you?
First in line, number 1 fan, the guy in the front row, Mr. 50-yard line, thank you.
I'll give you $500.
No, there's no cuts.
Want a keys to my car?
No, I'm not moving.
I got a football cooler.
I got the same one.
I got a helmet TV.
Mine is cable.
How'd you get cable? I got a beautiful Jimmy Johnson thermos.
Mine's got the lifelike hair. Look at that.
I got the whole collection.
You know what? I'd love to help you out. There's only one thing, though.
What?
I was here first. First in line.
It's funny, huh? I'm hungry. I'm going to go grab an extra value meal at McDonald's. You want something?
I'm starved. I'll tell you what, I'd do just about anything for a quarter pounder with cheese.
Anything?
Yeah.
For cheese?
Yes.
How's that quarter pounder, fella?
Great.
Mr. number 2 fan, Mr. 60-yard line.
Hey, you know something? An Egg McMuffin's going to sound really good in the morning.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Red ball of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. But your love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Living this race is red ball of fire.
You could win a trip to the Fast Track Driving School with Bosch Platinum Plugs.
We're back looking at the top 6, and Ricky Rudd, who started in 33rd, now up in 6th spot. And we told you they went right back. They lost dramatically. They qualified poorly and brought themselves back to where they're running right now. The Raybestos aerial camera providing these exciting shots of tonight's race. Raybestos brakes, the best in brakes, giving you these great pictures. Take a look here at Bobby Labonte as he gets into it out here with the 32. That scramble's been going on for the past 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, they've got the leader right behind them, and they're all trying to stay in the lead lap, and they're really they're running hard as they can right now. They don't want to go a lap down, but the pace Terry's setting, it's going to be tough to stop it.
Dick Trickle in the black, yellow numeral number 32, and there you see the 31 of Ward Burton in there. Ward Ward's a little further back. He's being shown a lap or two down.
Yeah, Ward's running pretty good, but he's made some green flag pit stops for new tires, so he's a little bit behind, but his car's pretty fast.
Trickle is currently in 13th position. Here you can see the leader. 120 up on the docket for car number 5. Terry Labonte staying first. Earnhardt in that second position. Now there's Earnhardt, and right with him comes Wallace. They make the dive under Kenny Wallace in car number 90 in that Heilig Myers car.
Well, Rusty broke it loose just a little bit coming off the 4th turn there. He's driving that thing hard.
Had a couple of cautions. Just joined us. Jeremy Mayfield socked the wall pretty hard in turn number 3. Kenny Wallace spun in the first lap. Some heavy braking going down into turn number 1. He got caught up in it. Ended up on the bottom of the racetrack. These cars are about 2 9/10 of a second away from the leader. Wallace to the inside. Now, this is what they wanted to see. 72,000 come to their feet as Wallace on the inside and Earnhardt on the outside get at it. Caution coming down. Yellow's out. Third of the night. Give you the for why in a moment. Guess what? Guess what?
What?
Somebody lost a screwdriver on the racetrack.
No wonder I don't see it.
I was looking around. I said, my gosh, there's nobody in the wall anywhere. No, there's a screwdriver out there.
Well, that was a big break for a few of them, but I tell you, a lot of good cars just went a lap down in the last 15 or 20 laps. Terry was really running.
Yeah, he ran down, among others, Bill Elliott, who's been having a good run. Elliott's up to 16th from 38th position. Leaders are all in here. See that front trio? Labonte, Earnhardt, Wallace, all pulling down pit road. Gordon comes in, Martin, Schrader, Brett Bodine. He's had a good night thus far. Came up to 10th for a while. Here's Dick Burke.
It is very hot in the pits right now. Mark Martin is pitting. They're all going to take 4 tires and all the fuel they can put into these cars. Martin, right side tires on. Gordon's a little bit ahead of him with the left side tires on. Rusty Wallace is ahead of everybody. That's no surprise. Wallace is out at 18.2. Gordon is out right behind him. And there goes the number 6 of Mark Martin. He is third out in that round. Labonte beat him out, however.
Yeah, Labonte was posted all the way on the end of pit road as his position to pit in, and he jumped out there at that stop of 18.7. Those stops by Buddy, Parrott, and company make such a difference. The bad luck of the night on that was Hut Strickland. He pitted on the yellow just as it came out. Now he's lost 2 laps in the Travis Carter car.
That's a tough break.
So here you have that number 5, Terry Labonte. That's a stout run, and what a versatile driver Terry Labonte is. He's won on the super speedways. He was a Winston Cup champion. He had 5 super speedway wins. He's won on the short tracks. And, of course, he's very good on the road courses. Won a couple there. Great tire twister.
And he's won this season, 1994. He's looking for another one. Looks like there's 13 cars came into the pits the first time by, the first time the pits opened. So I'd say we got 13 of them on the lead lap, still right in the thick of it. And some others are going to be trying to get back on that lead lap somehow, some way.
Now, this caution for the screwdriver on the track came out at lap 124. We are now working, 125. We are now working the 127th lap. And the folks at home kind of like to keep track of when those cautions happen. That's when it was. Brought it out for the 3rd time tonight. Everybody very much still in this race. We'll take a commercial break and get back with the program here in a moment. Hopefully we found that screwdriver by then. Stay with us here at Richmond.
The Miller Genuine Draft 400 is brought to you by Castrol Syntec. Protects in ways other oils can't. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by Allied Signals Fram Filters. Pay a little now or a lot later.
This is the place. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. There they are.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oils. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Chevy Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard Oil Filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Ray Bestis Brakes, the best in brakes, by Exide. For great starts every day, replace your old battery with a powerful Exide battery. Available at Montgomery Ward stores. And by Fingerhut, values direct to you.
Back with you at Richmond International Raceway. 130 laps now on the board. Top six stay pretty much as they were. Caution flag is out. Debris on the speedway. Leader stays with Labonte. Harry Gant's number 33. Remember when the race started? He was dead last. He qualified fairly well. But he wrecked the car in that final practice period today, so he had to go to the backup. And he was very concerned about it. He thought he might have a drive shaft problem. But right now he's running 25th, a lap down. That's where Harry Gant is at the present time. So Harry Gant in car number 33 may get a chance to do a little more running here before this night is over. Let's go to Rick Benjamin.
A lot of concern in the Jeff Bodine pits as well. Bodine's Exide batteries Ford, very strong at times tonight, but they've got handling concerns too. We're told that they were going to drop the air pressure in their tires a little, and a tire situation where they almost had a blistering problem. They were going to put some wedge in that car too on the pit stop. And Dick Berggren is standing by to let us know a little more how the field is playing this pit stop run.
Well, I'll tell you, they are really doing some strategy down here on pit road tonight with two brands of tires, both having new tires. Everybody's trying to decide, is it smart to adjust the wedge on the car, or is it smart to adjust the pressure? And it seems as if absolutely everybody down here is experimenting, and they're all trying one thing or another. It seems, however, that most of the teams, the good teams, are able to go as many as 100 laps on the tires. Fuel could go just a tad further, but not much. That appears to be the green flag window, just about 100 laps.
Just after we talked about Harry Gant, the number 33 was posted. They brought the car in. They've done some work to it, and now he's coming back on the track. Here's Randy.
Well, just to update you on the pole sitter, Ted Musgrave, as far as his flight tonight, car absolutely way too tight. Crew Chief Robin Pemberton took a rubber out of the left rear on the last stop and went down the lap real quickly, just not up to speed. Ted's complaining about the car being a little tight. Robin said it is a lot tight, and they're going to try and loosen them up. You might be able to elaborate up there in the booth a little bit about the rubber in the right rear and what that does as far as spring rate, Chuck.
Well, Randy, it just basically makes the right rear spring stiffer, and it just takes traction away from the right rear tire, which if the car is pushing and doesn't want to turn, putting rubber in that right rear spring will help. I don't know if it'll solve its problems, but it will help.
Restart. Lap 133. See if any help comes to Terry Labonte here. Gets away clean. Nice break. Rusty Wallace in second with him. Gordon third. Earnhardt fourth. Martin fifth. West fifth. Brett Bodine up to seventh. Jeff Bodine in eighth. A struggle for first as Wallace tries to ease it down on the inside. Riding with Rusty Wallace in second position. Closing in on the leader. And coming up out of the hole, that number 5 jumps to a 3-car length advantage. Gordon closes in on Wallace in that second spot. Car 75, Todd Bodine passed the leader. Look at this. Fighting their way down into this first turn. Some tough running out there. Todd Bodine passed the leader after the yellow came out. NASCAR took away that lap, and they penalized Todd a lap. He's back in 30th. There's Dave Marcus, who's won here a couple of times at Richmond. That Olive Garden car, number 71, down on the inside, looking good. And from on high, as they squeeze them down into turns 1 and 2. Beautiful shot. Car number 29, Grissom, getting under John Andretti in the 43, and 43 back on the outside, just in front of them, the number 30, Michael Waltrip. Nice battle there.
Looks like they're going to want to get out in that high lane, though, to get around the Dave Marcus car. He might not have gotten new tires or something. He seems to be backsliding a little bit. The outside groove seems to be the one that's going, because Dave's holding up the inside just a little bit.
And just behind this one is that 29 and 43. There's the 29.
Well, that traffic is heavy from there on back. I'm telling you, they are everywhere.
Second place battle. Gordon goes for it. Finds Wallace and tries to close him down right here. Coming around.
Jeff's been right in the thick of it, right from the start. He just hasn't quite got above about 3rd or 4th, but he's been running good.
On board with Wallace.
Taking a look now. This is what Rusty's seeing out of his rear view mirror.
How much attention do you pay out back?
Well, you just kind of give a lot of quick glances, but Rusty knows where he's at all the way around the racetrack, believe it or not. He's looking ahead more than he's looking behind, but you glance enough that you pretty much know where that guy is all the time.
See Mark Martin back there in 5th. Red stays 6th. Brett Bodine 7th. Todd Bodine 8th. Kenny Schrader is 9th, followed by Grissom, then John Andretti in 11th, and Darrell Waltrip is in 12th. And Dick Trickle in that number 32. They're in 13th and having a good night. You want to take the spot, or you want to worry the guy right here, taking another look at the full field?
You're going to worry him all you can, but if you get a chance to take it, you're going to take it. You worry him so that you can take it. I think it's kind of the way it works. But Rusty is pretty hard to worry. He's been in that situation a million times. If his car will keep him there, he's going to stay right there. But I tell you, Terry Labonte's just inching away ever so slowly. He is really strong tonight.
41 looks like it's going up in smoke. Nemechek going down.
That's not a pretty sight.
I wonder if he got a tire. Yeah, that's tire smoke. Apparently, he ran into the car in 19. That's
right?
Not a motor.
It must be the right quarter panel or right front fender. It must be pushed into the tire.
Now, there are the Bodine boys almost together again, getting under Bobby Labonte. This ought to be interesting. And you see the 26th and 7th, that's 7th and 8th spot, 7th, 8th, and 9th, including Bobby Labonte. And keep on keeping on with that number 11 car. 11 car is being shown. Elliott, a lap down in 15th. He's in the frame, but he is a lap down.
Yeah, that last green flag long stretch there just caught him. Joe did have to come into pits, Nemechek, and I think they put the tires on and pulled the fenders out, and he's headed back out to the racetrack.
Brett Bodine gave just a little peek to his brother of that next spot. You've raced against your brother. How does that go? You ever get...
I spun him out, too, right here at Richmond.
You did?
I sure did. Racing's racing, I guess. I didn't really mean to do it, but it happened, and it was a couple of years ago, and it really wasn't any problem. We've raced since, and we'll race again, and
some year you'll talk to each other. Yeah, have you had paybacks from the family?
Well,
did you ever race against your dad and get in trouble?
Yeah, well, I didn't get in too much trouble, but I did race against him some, and I'm sure that I've moved him over some, and he's moved me over some. He wouldn't have it any other way. Now, you kind of forget all your friends, I guess, when they do drop the green flag. You're all business and you're racing.
Well, the charge was made the other day after Wallace was running together. Mark Martin was a little angry about that. Of course, those Wallaces are pretty competitive. I understand that back in Missouri when they ran the short track, they could pretty much start a rebellion, a small rebellion or a large revolution almost every other weekend.
I think they're very competitive, extremely competitive, and that's why, personally, I don't think Mike Wallace had much to do with trying to help Rusty win that race.
Take a look at this scramble. This is for 9th position. The 25 car, Schrader on the outside, the 29, Grissom. What a great run young Steve Grissom is having.
Steve knows how to get around Richmond Raceway, no question about it.
Ooh!
Yeah. Hello, how you doing? That's just part of racing here at Richmond. Steve will continue to try, and Kenny will continue to try to hold him off.
Comes right back on. That's that number 2 turn.
Down the front straightaway they go. Yeah, this is where it gets tight again. They're getting ready to exit turn 2. See if they rub again.
Oh, close. That was not a cigar winner there. The other one was definitely. This is a scramble that's going on for 9th position. Schrader's there, and the 29, Grissom trying to take it away.
That's a good example of that little race they were just having, and how, you know, the inside's usually the preferred line around every racetrack we go to, but here at Richmond, you can keep them RPMs up and that momentum up on that outside pretty well, and Schrader was able to hold Steve off, you know, in that second groove. That's what makes racing so exciting here at Richmond.
3/4-mile track, bank 14 degrees in the turns, 8 degrees here in the tri-oval, just a couple on the back straightaway. Give you a look at who's led what laps here in the race if you're just joining us as we get up toward lap 154 this time. There are your lap leaders. Terry Labonte has really had a night so far, leading 115. Of course, Mark Martin led a lot of laps last week. Thought he was on his way. Schrader led a lot of laps at Darlington, but it was all Bill Elliott when it was over.
And it only takes one lap to get the win. You're just going to lead that last one. That's all most important final lap.
But any lap can have that hand grenade in it, as it was for Mark Martin, that cost him dearly in the points last Sunday at Darlington. Great race for Bill Elliott. First win since '92. Here's Jeff Gordon and Earnhardt. And it looks for the moment like Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt's right there again. Third spot here. This is all at lap 155.
Dale says thank you. He heads down the back straightaway. Jeff must have given him a little bit of room down there in turns 1 and 2.
Is he as intimidating now as he has been called before?
Well, you don't see many guys running over him. But I think he's smoother, and you know, he doesn't wrinkle the fenders quite as much as he used to. I think he's just gotten wiser, and that's why he has 6 championships, and probably on his way to number 7 this year.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, what'll be something when he goes for 8? Bill Elliott back in 15th position, running 1 lap down from dead last. Great performance here tonight. You can learn more right now from Dick Berggren about Bill Elliott.
And I'm going to ask his crew chief, Mike B. Mike, how is Bill feeling?
Well, it's not 100%. We had to change motors here for the race. And his right eye is kind of blurry. But, I mean, he's just holding on. You know, we really can't change drivers right now because, you know, we don't lose track positions. You know, and we had to come from the rear. You know, we just keep our stuff up so bad. We're just going to ride it out here and see what happens.
Well, let's hope good things happen for Bill Elliott. Of course, next year back to Dawsonville, Georgia with brother Ernie, and the old Dawsonville shop is renovated. McDonald's will be with him. Ought to be a pretty interesting season when George Elliott has the boys at home again. Back with the leaders, lap 160. There you see Terry Labonte continuing to thrash this field. Wallace stays second, Earnhardt third, Gordon fourth, Mark Martin fifth, and There is John Andretti. Now, he is staying up in the lead lap in car number 43. He's running 11th at the present time. And the last time that 43 finished on the lead lap, Jimmy Spencer in big trouble. He's coming in. The last time that 43 finished on the lead lap was Richmond, 1988, with Richard at the wheel. Only 1 week after that terrible flip that he had at Daytona, that devastator. Here's Jimmy Spencer coming in.
I don't know. It looked like
yellow's out.
Caution. I don't know. He was dropping some sparks going down the backstretch, but all the tires are up. But it was smoking, so I don't know if something. It's burning. Something has come loose on the front end of that car pretty seriously.
Well, they get the safety crews there. Going to put the dry chemical to car number 27. Comes in on fire.
Jimmy's out of it already.
The two-time winner this year, Jimmy Spencer, is away from the McDonald's car number 27. Bad break for Jimmy Spencer tonight. Not having the best of evenings.
I'm curious as to just what happened to that one. It's hard to call it. I really couldn't tell from here, just seeing some sparks and smoke and then a fire. Maybe Dick or Randy can find out for us.
He was back in 32nd position when that happened and brought out the fourth caution of the night. It comes in lap 163. Leaders are in. Here's Randy.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Winston Cup champion is in. Right side already going on. As far as Terry Labonte, he also in. Beat all these guys off of pit road last time by. Interesting on Dale Earnhardt's pit crew, a substitute jackman, David Smith home, having his tonsils taken out as far as on Monday. The two-car Rusty Wallace already down. Terry Labonte goes. Dale Earnhardt goes. Rusty wins. A dead heat off of pit road between Earnhardt as well as the five-car Terry Labonte.
Talk about a drag race, even at 45 miles an hour. That's pretty exciting. Five-car.
Raceway, you're looking live.
I can give you a report
from on high as the cars circulate under caution. 166 laps in the books tonight. Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, and Terry Labonte have been just going at it hammer and tongs for quite some time. After this round of pit stops, Rusty out in front at the moment. Want to tell you about our upcoming broadcast here on TBS Sports. We'll be live at Charlotte in 4 weeks. October the 9th, the Mellow Yellow 500. Very close to the end of the Winston Cup season in 1994, and the drivers in contention for the point battle. If anyone's going to chase Dale Earnhardt down, that will be a critical race in that battle, and we'll have all the coverage for you. Anyone's going to chase Dale Earnhardt down, that will be a critical race in that battle, and we'll have all the coverage for you on TBS live on Sunday, October the 9th. Ken, Chuck?
Getting set or restart. Completing 168 laps as they come to speed with Wallace first, Earnhardt, Labonte, Gordon, Brett Bodine in the top 5, Mark Martin in 6th, Rudd in 7th now, Jeff Bodine 8th, Schrader, Grissom in 10th, John Andretti in 11th, Trickle in 12th, and Waltrip in 13th.
Well, that's on the lead lap. Let's see. Terry's going to have to work for it. You know, he was up there leading this race at will. He has been pretty much all night. Now he's back to third after the round of pit stops. He's going to have to do a little work, I think, get by Dale and Rusty this time.
There's the 10 car up on the outside. Ricky Rudd, what a run he is having tonight. A lead battle developing.
There you go, right around Dale Earnhardt on the outside. That's not easy to do. And he's heading for Rusty now.
Second place at stake there. Second place as Wallace is drawn away by 4 or 5 car lengths. Sort out coming out of turn 4. Still doubled up just behind these 4 or 5 leaders from Wallace's view.
Well, Terry's car is really accelerating off the second turn. He's really able to get that thing turned and get that throttle down, and it's just you can just see him pull away from Earnhardt about a car length each time they leave the second turn.
Now, Ricky Rudd in the 10 car certainly up in contention tonight. This is the first time they brought that particular car out since Rudd won at New Hampshire with it back in July. Hoping for equally as good results tonight here at Richmond.
And as I say, when they got here, that car was fast. It was capable of sitting up in the front row. And from the dog cam, hanging out the side, boom! How about that for a little nudge? This battle for 7th position. Hutch Strickland down there going to give it a shot now. Remember 1984, after that terrible wreck at Daytona, he came in here with his eyes taped open. More trouble. Tire going down on Bobby Hamilton's car. Let's go down to the pits.
Well, I don't believe that's the case, Ken. I think they were talking about a possible ignition box. It is not fired right now. The hood is up on the Kendall Pontiac. They are looking to possibly, well, they're going to take the air cleaner off. I thought they were going into the valve cover, but she shut down. Initially, I thought it was the ignition box, but it's not running. That's all we know right now.
Okay, he's in. It's going to be lengthy. We were told he had a tire problem. Not the case. Watch that 40 car down on the bottom there, Chuck. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty serious. Something's definitely misfiring. I don't know if it's broke internal parts or if it is ignition, but it's major problems for Bobby Hamilton tonight.
Earlier in the race, he had been one of the pace setters. He was running 31st when he got in trouble there.
You know, that last go-around of pit stops, I'm curious if the first 4 cars there, if any of them made suspension adjustments, and if they did, which ones and how much, because you know, they were all 4 running awfully good before the caution came out, and they all 4 pitted. I'm just wondering if they left everything alone, if they're happy, or if they are working on it.
Maybe we can get that story from Dick Berggren and Randy in a moment. Watch this 5, 3, and 24 confrontation for 2nd spot. Terry Labonte. So methodical. Just doesn't use a car up, but he gets everything that a car has to offer. Now look at the Petty car.
Andretti, DW,
and Grissom.
Going in.
That 43 car stays in 9th spot. And looks really strong tonight for John Andretti. Trying to secure that ride, stay with it for a while. Backing up to 8th is Ricky Rudd, and up to 9th moves John Andretti. Here's the 6 and 26, 5th place scramble. Mark Martin has it. Brett Bodine wants to take it away. Rick Mast, a couple of laps down back there in 23rd in car number 1.
Yeah, Rick's been fast too all night, but I think he had to make an unscheduled green flag pit stop on some tires. That's putting down a couple laps. It's hard to make it up here, but both the Bodine are having a good run, and they're both chasing Mark Martin right now.
Jeff Bodine, number 7, is in the 7th spot, and there you see the 26.
He's got him in sight. He just can't quite get up there and do anything with it, but he's working on it.
29 and 43 another time. Been a good war. And Grissom is going to win this battle.
For sure, they're both having an awful good night.
So with that move, Grissom goes to 9th, and John Andretti is back to 10th. And right there in the picture is number 17. That's Waltrip. Darrell in 11th. Darrell's having a pretty good run this evening as well, just behind this twosome.
Yeah, and actually about the past month, old DW has gotten to go a little bit better here. He's getting stronger and stronger, and starting to have some pretty good runs. I'm sure he's pretty happy about it.
Bet he is. And you see the 17. Here's Dick Berggren.
Jimmy Spencer's in the back of his truck right now. Your car just caught up with you. How wild a ride was that?
Not really that, but I was trying to cook some French fries. No, I tell you something, all night long it started to skip right from the get-go, you know, and we really don't know what happened. I switched the ignition boxes twice, 3 times, and the coils, and evidently it broke a timing chain or something, slapped back to the carburetor, caught on fire, just a little carburetor fire, nothing major, but, you know, we weren't running as well as we wanted to, but still felt we had a top 10 car. Try and get him next week at Dover.
Yeah, he doesn't, a little bit of fire doesn't bother this guy at all.
He'd make a great short order chef, no question about it.
Throw a quarter-pounder on there for me, I guess.
Yeah, next week is Dover, the week after Martinsville, then North Wilkesboro, and then October night, Charlotte. Busy time, 10 weekends in a row that started there at Indy. They're riding with Jeff Bodine, right behind brother Brett. They look like they know their mother is watching. Running order after 184 laps. Take you down to the field. The 31 up on the outside. That's Ward Burton. He's running 2 laps down in 24th position at present time. Ward Burton in the 31, but for the moment running very well.
Yeah, I think he's, again, is only down from a green flag pit stop for tires, but his car's been pretty good tonight.
And Mast in the number 1, remember, he's running in 23rd. The story of the race right now is the number 6 car with Mark Martin, with whom you're riding. He's in 5th, and the 26 down, tucked in the bottom of the racetrack. That is Brett Bodine, then Jeff Bodine. Jeff Bodine getting through on Brett Bodine. Jeff has picked up one.
I don't even think they touched, did they?
He just kind of slid up through, and here he comes, bottom of the racetrack again. Boy, he just pushes it to the bottom, and it stays. It doesn't slide. It doesn't move. It doesn't need to come off that arm.
He's been in the thick of it all night. He's running well.
He has a magnet in the track down there.
But those first 4 seem to have separated themselves just a little bit from the rest of the field. I don't know if it's just pit position, track position, good pit stops, or if they're that strong. But there's not a lot of difference in all these cars out here. It takes them a long time to reel down to the back of the pack and start lapping cars. But those first 4 are pretty good tonight.
And we saw Labonte do that earlier, Chuck. That number 10 car, here you see Ricky Rudd in 7th position. Let's check in with his crew chief, Billy Engel.
A good, strong run by Ricky Rudd. Billy Engel, crew chief, can you run those leaders down?
I believe we can, Dick. It seems to take our car about 20 laps to get going where we can run a little quicker than the leaders. On that last run there, long run on tires, we was about 3/10 quicker than the leaders. So we have a few long runs. I believe we'll be looking pretty good.
Some optimism down here.
We'll show you how far he has to go to catch up with those leaders. Remember, he came in tonight in 4th place in the Winston Cup standings. His own car, own crew. He's footing the bills, and he's putting his foot on the floor of that car number 10 as he tries to move up through the field. There's the interval to the leaders in the event. Wallace and Labonte, 1 and 2. That's the 1st and 2nd. So it's about 8 seconds back to Rudd as he finds himself in 7th. 3rd spot is still Earnhardt. Getting up toward 200 laps, Chuck. 195 this time by. Looks like Earnhardt's where he wants to be.
Yeah, and Terry is finally starting to reel Rusty in, but it's taken him a while this time. Rusty stayed fast for quite a while on this restart.
Take a look at the interval back to Mark Martin in the 6th position.
I think Jeff Bodine has just taken the 6th position from Mark. Jeff's kind of on the move. It looks like Ricky Rudd might be going to work on him too here in a minute. I don't know if Mark Starr's getting a little tight on him or what. I'm not sure, but
on
the 10
board.
car and the 7 car on the move.
On board with Mark Martin as he continues to stay right in the midst of this fracas. So we're closing in on the halfway mark as you watch Ricky Rudd into 10. Up on Mark Martin. Four laps to halfway. Pretty good race here tonight. 13 cars remain in that lead lap. Terry Labonte has dominated the lap chart tonight. He's led most of the laps in this race, and here he is trying to get that lead wrested from Rusty Wallace in car number 2.
Well, he's sizing him up now. He's been following him for quite a while, and now he's just wondering, do I try that outside, or I think let's just slip up a little bit and give me that inside. He knows it's not going to be easy.
All the way to the outside. Here's the 10 car. 10 is around 6. That's for sixth spot. And back up front, here's the struggle. This for first place. The Hendrick.
He's going to make it clean and sweet.
Hendrick car, just beautiful tonight. The Kellogg's colors go back into the lead. And here in the Miller Genuine Draft, their car finds itself back in second spot another time. Off the fourth turn and down the main straightaway. Closing in on the halfway mark as they lap Loy Allen another time. He's running 33rd on the field. Loy Allen in car number 19.
Rusty's driving his pretty hard trying to keep up with Terry. You can see him break it loose a little bit coming off the second turn there. He's trying to hustle it, but Terry's car is just awfully good.
And Terry Labonte has now led 127 of the first 200 laps. We're halfway in the race as they put a lap on Kenny Wallace. Kenny's had a great season in Grand National. What, 3 wins there? Won that ARCA race at Daytona to begin the season. Now driving in that Heilig-Myers car. From our Raybestos aerial platform, I mean Mike Wallace.
Yep.
I said Kenny. Let me correct myself.
Kenny's having a pretty good year, too. He's won a couple of Grand National races, but Mike, he's been in victory lane 3 times this year. He's doing real well.
Well, Raybestos providing these exciting aerial shots of tonight's race. Raybestos Brakes, the best in brakes, the best in these high aerial camera views of this 3/4-mile track. Let's go back to 6 and 26 for a moment out here. 7th place.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going on with Mark Martin. I don't believe he's quite satisfied with the way his car's performing right now. He's lost 2 or 3 spots, and it looks like he might lose a few more. He might try to find out what's going on down there, Dick and Randy. I believe the thing's pushing a little bit, but I'm not sure.
Well, if it's pushing, you're going to see it coming off that number 2 turn. They come digging off that second corner. Critical spot on this racetrack. And back with the leaders. Wallace. Boy, is he tenacious. He just doesn't give up. Look at him scramble. With an extra bite on the wheel as he tries to close in again on Labonte.
I don't think he likes to run second, does he? He wants to get back up to the number 1 spot.
Earnhardt seemingly willing to ride third. These guys keep on cooking up in front for the moment. He knows it. There's the 21 car. That's Morgan Shepherd, who we haven't given much of a call to tonight. Moving up, he's in 17th position, and he is fighting with Bobby Labonte and taking the spot away from him. Just took 16th away from Bobby Labonte. Wood Brothers. I understand the Wood Brothers are talking about building a little museum of their own up in Stewart, Virginia. Why wouldn't that bring back some great memories? Look at this lead change. Here's Wallace again back out in front. Swap them around another time and put Wallace on the point. Put Labonte in second, and Labonte doesn't seem any too happy to sit on that nest. Here he comes back to the inside another time. How about this?
They both want the lead. Only one of them can have it. They're going to work for it. That's what it's all about.
The way they dig for positions around here. They nearly had a dead heat finish for 4th or 5th last night. They had to wait a while to decide that one. Here's Wallace in front, but coming out of turn 2, you see how that car wants to move out.
Terry really gets the fight off that second turn. He has all night. That's been his advantage.
And there he is, right back on the inside. Chevy on the bottom, Ford on the outside. If you're just joining us, we're at Richmond International Raceway, a 3/4-mile track. They're up to about 130-35 right here. They'll dump it off about 140 at the end of the main straightaway. Michael Waltrip back on pit road another time. This is for first place, just past the halfway point.
Yeah, this is what we talked about before the show started. They can sit there and run side by side, lap after lap after lap, and Richmond's famous for that. Oh, a lap car is going to make Terry have to pull up to the outside, but boy, it was a good show while it lasted there. Maybe we'll see some more of that before it's over.
Burton there, but look what's happened. There's the 3 car. While those 2 are having this little fracas up in front, Earnhardt says, thank you very much. I just as soon close in on this. I wouldn't mind taking a shot at first for a while either.
He's saying, do it one more time, guys. Let me get those last 10 car lengths. I'll be right there.
I'll help you. Is there any kind of a draft on this 3/4 mile track?
Well, I really don't think so. I mean, you can get line and draft, but I don't think the speed's quite enough to really let it make an effect like it does at so many of the racetracks.
Brett Bodine down the inside into 7th. Mark Martin fading here. Look at Grissom come on. How about that? Grissom up to 8th and back to 9th. Goes Mark Martin. Gadsden, Alabama's Steve Grissom having his finest night. Randy Pemberton?
Well, guys, I came over and asked Steve Neal what the problem was. Mark is searching for a groove out there, but can't find one because the car is bad loose. It's bad loose. They need some wedge in the thing. He said, Steve, it's killing me. We need a caution, but they're going to have to try and wait it out and see if they can pin on a green flag and try and tighten that thing up. But he's bad loose, guys.
Well, Grissom, who qualified 8th, is just great. Maybe bad loose on some others. He's dead center perfect for the moment. Grissom in the 29. There's the 6th that's fallen back into 9th. And Grissom keeps whittling through this field. This could be his best night ever in Winston Cup racing. Let's take a look at a Fram race story right now. Lap leaders at this point. Had a caution early on. Terry Labonte getting an opportunity. We've had thus far 4 cautions. 27 laps have been run under the yellow flag. The 42, Kyle Petty, is retired from the event. The 98, Jeremy Mayfield, has crashed out of the event. Poor old 27, it had its problems, and it's gone behind the wall. Short night for Jimmy Spencer. One other retiree. Yeah, Jeff Green, number 95. 4 cars from the 38 that started, not on the field. 216 laps are now complete, and you're riding with Rusty Wallace for these live pictures from Richmond International Raceway. As Wallace puts another lap on Nemechek. Gets himself about a 2-car length advantage. That's the biggest lead he's had in the last 15 or 20.
Earnhardt's keeping him right there in sight, and Jeff Gordon is not very far behind. So those first 4 cars are still right in the thick of it. But Mark Martin is getting the caution to get some wedge in that car. I guess that he was pushing earlier, but I guess wrong. I had a 50-50 chance, but he's a little loose. And I'm sure that he'll get that thing straightened out and be a contender, too. Oh, here we go.
How about this another time?
Side by side again. And Dale's saying, oh, boy, here's my chance.
That is simply great racing. 72,000 people. They bought every seat there was to be had. They bought them months ago. And coming up out of 2,
got her done
you could see Wallace having to take an extra saw on the wheel to keep that one straight. And Terry Labonte took advantage of it.
You know, if you have to sit on that inside and work it very hard, it doesn't take long to get the right rear tire kind of warm, and then you start backing out just a little bit. So you really hate to sit there and run side by side, even though you can do it, because it abuses your tires. So you want to give it a good hard charge for 1 or 2 laps. If you can get it done, great. If not, fall back behind and cool things down and give it another run.
Here's Harry Gant still out there in car number 33. He's back in 25th position, but he's still percolating in his last appearance here at Richmond International Raceway.
I don't believe he got to test that car at all either.
Not a bit.
Has problem in practice, so that's not a bad night considering that.
Well, they're at it again. Here's the number 7, the first car on Hoosier tires in the race, running in 5th spot. And Rick Mast, a lap or 2 down, right in there as well. Mast is on fresh tires, so he's kind of collecting them. That number 1 car is being shown 3 laps down at least at the present time. The contention car is the number 10. That number 10 has just done an outstanding job all night, but for the moment he's having to look up from under another time. Ricky Rudd had Bodine. Bodine got him back. These guys have been swapping position. Roy Allen is back on pit road with the car number 19. He's well in the back, tail ending the field. Look at this 7 and 10 go at it, Chuck.
Ricky's running a good car width tire all the way around the corner down there in 1 and 2. I don't know if this car just works a little bit better. Now Jeff's running high at the other end of the racetrack, so now Ricky Rudd's going to have to hold her down low in 1 and 2 this time because he just passed him on the inside.
All of this for 5th position. And 26 has gone back around Grissom. Well, this has been going on for a while, too.
Yeah, they're not very far behind the 2 we were just looking at, so there's racing going on everywhere out here.
7th place is again Brett Bodine, and back to 8th goes Grissom. That's exactly where he started the event tonight. So, we have 225 laps complete, and everybody's happy here at Richmond, even they had to wait an hour and a half for this one to get underway, as Labonte and Wallace continue to pace the show.
If you think Sunday night means the weekend is over, hold on. The last great adventure of the weekend, National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern, every Sunday night, only on TBS.
It began in the heartland, in towns small and large. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 12,500 convenient locations. More than any other company of any kind in America. Citgo, feel the pride.
Hard charging parts, smooth riding parts, big rockin' and knockin' and locking parts. Western Auto goes stranger through these parts.
Western Auto has over 100,000 parts available when you need them 7 days a week. Serious parts at serious savings. Hey, we know what you want.
Protect your engine with dependable Prestone antifreeze and coolant from Western Auto. Prestone all-weather protection.
Western Auto goes stranger through these parts.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Pollen, smog, colds, known causes of itchy, burning eyes. The answer? Clear Eyes ACR. Soothing, cooling, allergy, cold, relief from Clear Eyes.
With you in one of the most historic towns in America, Richmond, Virginia, and one of the raciest towns. Boy, they love their Winston Cup stock car racing here. 72,000 seats, sold out months in advance to see racing like this. Here's Grissom, and here's John Andretti in 43. And
I think that battle's over. I think Steve flipped up a little bit in the 4th turn, and John jumped up the inside and just motored on by.
8th position to John Andretti. He's fighting for a chance to stay in that car, and what a show he's putting on. Here comes Mark Martin another time back on it, and look at this for 2nd place. Hello.
Well, he jumped it up there quick, didn't he?
The men in black at it again for 2nd place. Black car. The 3 in the deuce. Earnhardt and Wallace. And again, Wallace loose up on that outside.
Yeah, but watch him cool those tires off and come right back.
The brothers side by side again. The brothers Bodine. Having a little love feast out here another time. Not putting a wheel on each other. Boy, it's been a while since you've seen this much side by side racing, huh, Chuck?
Yeah, I think these guys are just figuring out a little bit better lines because they'll kind of fall back a few positions, and then the next thing you know, boom, they're right back up and retake the positions they just lost. So they're just sorting out lines out there if they're tight or loose or whatever, figuring out a little bit faster ways to get around Richmond tonight.
It's Mike Wallace up on the outside in Junie Donlevy's car. 63 different Winston Cup drivers have driven for Junie. Of course, he's only won that one Winston Cup race. But when he comes to Richmond, it's always special. Hometown, and he's been around here since day one. Ran that first Darlington race. A lot of history with that Donlevy team. Labonte Car owner Rick Hendrick has won only once here at Richmond. Have to go back to 86 to find that. Tim Richmond won that one for him. Last car in the lead lap is Schrader in 13th position, number 25.
And his teammate Terry is not very far behind.
That's how close Labonte is to lapping the 13th place car. This is at lap 238.
I'm sure Kenny knows he's there, and he's running just as hard as he can. His spotters told him Terry's coming, but
43, just knocking him down. John Andretti coming on. Up to 7. Seems good to see those STP colors running that well again, Chuck.
Yeah, that's a pretty sight to see that number 43 Pontiac making a strong run.
Take a look at a Napa field summary for you. Folks at Napa making this possible for you to follow back through the field. See where everybody's running. The surprise right now is Andretti in the 43. Started 19th. And the son of Aldo Andretti's having a great night. There he is in that 43, and looks like that 7 is off its speed a little here.
I don't know if he's a right front tire problem or if he just went in the corner a little too hard, got up and loosed up and slipped up on him. Looks like it just slipped up on him.
Well, John Andretti gets better almost every week now. 16th at Darlington a week ago. Comes in here. He's up there. Can he stay the course, though? He's at lap 241. We've got 400 to make the distance. Look at Grissom come in digging another time.
Back and forth, back and forth. They're working hard for it.
So that's Grissom dusting off the car number 7. And it sure looks like there's something slightly amiss on that car of Jeff Bodine at this point. Here's Ward Burton easing on up through.
He's slowing up just a little bit here. I don't know if it's just starting to lose his grip. And, you know, that happens. You get the long green flag stretch, and sometimes it just now starts giving up.
And the 43 trying to close in on Brett Bodine at the present time. John Andretti stepped off it for just a moment there. As he goes searching for even stronger cars to run against now. He's tried everybody all up through the field, and so far he's accomplishing from 19th position. Richard Petty won this race a record 7 times, including 5 straight years in 043. What about this Richmond track? What's tough about this track for a newcomer, John Andretti?
I think it's always tough because you're always learning the tracks, but from the standpoint that when you go down, the track is fairly smooth, but when you go down turn 1, it's a little bumpy. But as you come off of turn 2, it's really, really tight because it's shaped like a D. When you come off of turn 4, you got a lot of room. You got to kind of plan way ahead to get through everything. And yet it's still very narrow, so there's a lot of things that play against you here, but I think it's a real fun racetrack.
Well, he's driven about everything there is to drive, and John Andretti looking good at the present time. Best finish was that 16th a week ago at Darlington in Winston Cup. You can't forget 91 or 2. He won over there in the Gold Coast race in Australia. Rick Mass looks like he may get a lap back here.
But he's down more than 1 probably. That won't really. Yeah, I think he's down about 4 laps. Now 3. Yeah. Well, you know, Terry's been out there on that particular set of tires quite a few green flag laps now, and when Rick comes in and gets 4 new ones under the green flag, boy, you can really go for a while.
In fact, it looks like Schrader may get his lap back here.
Well, I think the 5 just went by him, just put him down a lap. He chased him for a long time and followed him for a long time, but he finally got by Schrader. Now Schrader's down a lap. I think we're down to about a dozen cars on the lead lap right now. And there's some other good cars not very far in front of Terry that are in jeopardy now. So if this stays green much longer, Terry could have it down to just a few cars on the lead lap. He's really running good.
Battle for 15th here. As you watch Morgan Shepherd up there in the top 10 in points, and here's Bill Elliott right with him. Remember, they are a lap down, but this is the battle for 15th. Stay with us for a moment. We were mentioning earlier, they're talking about putting a little museum together up in Stewart, Virginia. Wood Brothers
I hadn't heard about that, but
so famed. Well, I think they're months away. It isn't ready for a while, but they're talking about it.
I don't think they'll have much of a problem filling it up, though, the Woods brothers. I'll tell you, what a career they have.
Car number 7, Bodine, is on the pit road.
I think that particular set of tires just didn't get the job done like some of the others. I think it was just about to go a lap down, so he decided to come on in.
Back to 12th position. Here he is. Right side rubber going on. We've got a tire off and a car into the wall almost. Let's see if it's going to bring out a caution. Yellow is out.
Looks like Hut Strickland,
number 23, in trouble.
Got a right front down, I believe, going into the first turn there. Boy, that'll be costly for Jeff Bodine. He's sitting in the pits now getting his tires. That's too bad.
Well, that's going to put him a lap out of kilter with the field. Bad break for Hut Strickland. Lucky to save it. It looked like it was headed pell-mell into that outside retainer.
Yeah, it did. I thought he was going to have a pretty good impact, and I'm not even sure if he even touched it.
I don't think he
was
did.
Lucky. He got her slowed down and under control just before it got into the pits.
On pit road, Strickland in the 23. Leaders now pitting. Strickland was 25th, and that incident took place. This is at lap 252. Leaders in. 45 miles an hour on pit road tonight. Labonte, the leader, brings them in. Earnhardt with him. Gordon is in.
I believe Ken Schrader got his lap back. I think it was a big break for him.
And Schrader did get his lap back. Let's go down to pit road.
Well, Brian Griffin on the front tire for Terry Labonte's team. Gary Smith works the right rear. Walter Smith on the jack. They're already over to the left-hand side. Tires are off. New set going on the left-hand side. A race down pit road between Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace. Terry down the way. A race with Dale Earnhardt as well. Terry comes out fourth.
So they're the front three again. Wallace out there first. Gordon in second. Boy, it must be hard to stay at 45 and still win those battles. How do you put all that together? Let's take a look at what happened to the 23 car again. Head the flat and see how close he came to that wall.
Oh, he's right there. I mean, right there.
What was that song Henry Mancini wrote about Mr. Lucky? Hut Strickland.
I just hope he didn't do too much suspension damage driving the car back on a totally cut down right front tire. It's a long way around this 3/4 mile track and dragging that rim. Sometimes it'll grind off the sway bar or other parts of the suspension. Causes some major problems. Hopefully he'll be okay.
So John Andretti keeps the 43 car in the top 10. With them bunched up, we'll get a chance to see just how much more he can do in this race tonight. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
And we'll ask the guy that really knows the answer to that. How about the job this guy Andretti's doing tonight?
So far, he's been doing super. The car's real heavy. It's pushing all around, but he's driving the heck out of it. And so far, we've caught the cautions right to keep him getting a lap down. So everything's going good right now.
Notice this hat, by the way. Everybody else has to wear their headset over the top. Richard's got one, so he can wear his cowboy hat, and he can also listen in his headset.
I'm going to get my hat on with the rest of the stuff on.
It's an art form, folks. It's an art form. In sixth spot right now, John Andretti for Richard Petty, here in the Miller Genuine Draft 400.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah. Kellogg's Corn Flakes? How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
Sunday on Award Theater. Eastwood.
I don't think it's nice, you laughing.
The movie that made Clint Eastwood an international star.
Money to be made in a place like this.
A fistful of dollars.
It's dynamite.
The Western myth would never be the same.
What's wrong, Ramon? You losing your touch?
A fistful of dollars. 10:35 Eastern Sunday on TBS.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Here's diehard. More power when you need it most.
Headline News, the one network where you can find lifestyles and entertainment news at 25 and 55 minutes past the hour. Headline News, a whole day's news every half hour. Check cable listings for channel number.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By UAW GM, people working together. And by Pyroil, quality automotive formulas from the makers of Valvoline. For performance products, there's just one name, Pyroil.
Back at Richmond, getting set for another restart. We're in our 5th caution of the event. The Miller Genuine Draft 400. Wallace first, Gordon second, Earnhardt third, and Terry Labonte now lies in 4th. With more on the Labonte story, let's go trackside.
Well, Gary Dehart and Rick Hendrick, the car owner, stand here. You all got smiles on your faces, and then deservedly so. You've had a good run, but what about the pit stop? Kind of put you back just a bit.
Yeah, we had a little problem on one of the lug nuts, I think. Not a big deal. We'll get back up there with them in a little bit. The car's really great. It's been good all week. We did a lot of work on it and changed a bunch of things around. But right now, we're looking forward to another long run. We ought to get back up there.
Yeah, you guys haven't dominated a race like this in a long, long time, at least Terry has.
No, we really need it also. We've had some bad luck, and I guess you make your own luck sometimes, but the car's running great now. Hope we do all right.
Good luck. Dick Bergman, what's going on with the 2-car?
Some problems are going on with the 2-car. They are talking about a potential steering problem. They're hoping it's just a tire pressure problem and that when the green flag drops, it will go away. But Rusty has called back to the crew and said he thinks potentially it's a servo problem. That's the power steering. Makes the car hard to steer. Meanwhile, Roger Penske has radioed into his driver, Rusty Wallace, and said, watch that restart. NASCAR has warned me, do it their way.
Does it their way, off to a clean start. Jeff Woodine in the 7, a couple of laps down up on the inside, and immediately falling back.
Making a move by Gordon there. He's jumping the inside real quick after he got to the start-finish line. He's going to race him hard. He wants to get up there and get those 5 bonus points.
Yeah, Earnhardt hasn't been up there yet tonight, has he?
Not yet.
So here's Earnhardt coming up for 2nd, trying to chase down Wallace. This is for the lead. Remember, in 4th, it is Labonte with Rudd in 5th and John Andretti in 6th. And once again, Earnhardt and Wallace lock up in a battle for first place. Bang. No, not quite. Let's see what they do up here in 2. You can see this number 2 car, and there is something amiss on that car that comes out of there. Wallace was saying the other day,
he's got him
now. Got him clean and easy.
Yeah.
Coming off that 2nd turn, he said, I take too much coast, and I wasn't sure what he meant. I was embarrassed to ask. I guess I should have. What do you think that means?
I'm really
getting back in the throttle?
Yeah, that would have been my guess. Was too much coast means not picking up the throttle quick enough. But maybe he meant something else entirely. I guess maybe he asked Rusty that Sunday. I'm not exactly sure what he was talking
down
about.
After the show's over and have a little chat with the guy. Looking good in 2nd, but look at Earnhardt draw away.
Well, he's got those bonus points now, and he's enjoying the lead while he can. And Terry Labonte is trying to figure out how he's going to get back to that.
5 bonus points collected by Earnhardt for scooting back out in front. And here comes Mark Martin down to the inside on John Andretti. This is for position. Position 6. Here comes Brett Bodine.
Mark could be making a move now. He's the one that was loose, real loose. And obviously, they got to work on it during that caution flight. He might be trying to charge his way to the front now.
Mark Martin in 6th. Andretti in 7th. And it's Brett Bodine in 8th.
Grissom's right there in 9th, too. So, they're racing.
Just in front of them is that 12 car. A new sponsor, whole deal for Bobby Allison. Supposed to be for 3 years. Derek Cope in there. We got a shampoo company. 17 car up in here as well. Darrell Waltrip. I think everyone is thrilled for Bobby Allison. There's the 12 car up on the outside in those blue, yellow, and white colors. And let's hope that really works out for Bobby and company. And without a sponsor most of the season. And you see him out of turn number 2 with John Andretti down on the inside. The 12 car has been running back a ways in this field. It's in 19th position. There you see it. Blue, white, and gold colors now on that 12. It's called Straight Arrow.
Is that just one lap down to 19?
I think it's one. Maybe 2. Let's see here. Couple down. Well, here's Gordon and Labonte for another strike at that position. Just doesn't quit out here. That's 3rd spot. And Labonte wastes no time dispatching Gordon that time and going in search of Rusty Wallace in 2nd spot. Remember, the 7 car is now a couple of laps down.
Yeah, he's going to have to use those tires now. Try to get up there and get his lap back. He really can't afford to sit back and kind of take it easy now.
He's running 17th on the field. Here's John Andretti, 7th. Brett Bodine, the 26th, in 8th, and the 29, Grissom.
These guys have been going at it all night. I imagine it's not going to change till that checkered flag comes out.
Well, I'm just excited to see the 43 run so well.
Yeah, it's doing good. You know, it only has 1 tire mark on it.
Well, that means he's not trying hard enough, right?
No, you need to take care of him. You really do.
Well, at Richmond, it's pretty hard to come out unscathed.
That's true.
John Andretti, I like to watch him race. I think he's a great addition to Winston Cup racing. He's got the spirit of a stock car driver.
Yeah, and he's a fast learner.
Yep. You see Kenny Wallace back at it. Look at this rodeo a little further back. There's Derek Cope in that 12 car for Allison. The 12 car was the car in which Chuck was driving when he had that bad crash with Sterling Marlin. How you coming?
Well, I'm coming pretty good. You know, if my eyes were 100%, I'd be out there tonight. I had an opportunity to. Had some people calling me wanting me to race their cars, but at full speed in these things, we take those corners so fast. I'm still just having a little bit of double vision trouble. You just have to wait till that completely goes away. But everything else is healed up, and my strength's back pretty good. And I'm ready to go. I'm just patiently waiting.
Wrist is back and the ankle's back.
Yeah, the elbow and the knee.
Yeah. But you broke the wrist and you broke the ankle, right?
Yeah. I got just cartilage and ligaments in the knee and elbow, which sometimes take longer to heal than the bones usually do. But you're not feeling great.
Bodine, Jeff, back on pit road. Remember, he was 2 laps down. This is costly. This is going to put him at least 3. Still not comfortable with that car.
That's another complaint. He didn't take those laps down, making that pit stop just before the caution, and now he's in again. So I don't think Jeff's going to be able to get himself back in contention. There's just not enough time left in this race. But maybe he can salvage some kind of a decent finish.
2 victories and 12 DNFs on that car this year. I mean, those victories have
feast or famine.
Yeah, feast or famine. Oh! Watch Wallace wrench this car to try to keep it under control. You talk about walking on the edge. Watch this from a lap ago. This is a replay.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I believe he got a little too low there in turn 4, and he got the left sides up on the flat part underneath that yellow line, and it tends to break you loose a little bit. I think when the car comes off that reverse banking onto the real racetrack, it was just kind of out of control. He had the gas in, he was digging hard, then back in, slid way out. But Rusty's not happy unless he's sawing on that steering wheel. He likes to go.
One thing to watch in here, but down there, that's a 140-mile-an-hour catch. And he caught it. Kept right on truck and stayed in second. Take a look at the running order for you another time. Getting up toward lap 240. A correction. Going 276.
Looks like we still have a dozen cars in the lead line.
Cars 75 and 16. This is for 18th position. Musgrave on the inside, Todd Bodine on the outside, and for the lead another time, Wallace and Earnhardt.
This might be the break Terry Labonte's looking for. If they can get to going at it real hard, he'll slip by them both and pull on away. Looks like they're not going to mess around side to side too awful long. Rusty's going to get back in line and wait a few laps, try it again.
Rick Mast, who'd been running 26, gone behind the wall. That at lap 280. At lap 280. Earnhardt controlling for the moment. Wallace easing back on it for just a moment before he makes another stab at it.
Yeah, and, you know, Jeff Gordon's been keeping those guys in sight all night. He just can't quite get up there and mix it up with them. And that's got to be driving him crazy to have to be that close, and you can't get up there and get in the middle of it and have all that fun.
Those folks sitting in turn number 2. I don't know how much those seats cost. But that has got to be some view, looking in and watching those guys catch those, as you see that turn 2 grandstand, catch that car time after time right there. When you pitch out of turn number 2, you take it right to the wall, wide open. And if the car is working right, you do it in one track. The way Wallace's car is doing, you're sawing on it, you're wrenching that steering wheel, you're fighting it through there every lap, and it looks so smooth, and you say, well, on this side of the track. Here he comes. Bottom another time, and the struggle's on for the lead.
Looks like Dale's been experimenting a little bit the last few laps here. He's been trying to run up kind of high in turns 1 and 2, and a little bit in 3 and 4. I thought he found him a pretty good groove up there. I don't know if Rusty's going to get it done on the bottom or not.
Front 3 at 284 laps, locked together like this, and 6 car lengths behind him is 4th place, 23-year-old Jeff Gordon. Talk about great racing. Got it tonight here at Richmond. Earnhardt hasn't won since Talladega in May, but he's up in front by 227 points in the standings over Wallace as they come to this race. Wallace is happy because he's 57 points closer than he was at the same time a year ago. He lost the championship by, what, 80? And he's got an extra race this year.
Well, you can't count him out. He's got a lot of good racetracks coming up, but Dale's definitely in the catbird seat. I see Rusty worked pretty hard down there. Dale didn't give him anything, and he finally had to pull back in line. He just works that right there tire awful hard when you hold it down to the inside all the way around here at Richmond.
And again, Gordon closes up. Let's not forget that Ricky Rudd is having another outstanding night. He's up in 5th spot. Mark Martin in 6th and John Andretti in 7th. There are your front 4. Extra distance as they come down to complete 287 laps. So here they are into the back straightaway. Rusty Wallace, chance of pulling this race off again for a 3rd win with a brand new car. What's the potential for that happening?
Well, I've had a brand new car the other 2 times also. And we built a brand new one just for this Richmond Miller Genuine Draft 400. It looks great. I'm excited about it. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Going well right now, but not quite as well as he might wish. He's having to work a little harder, but I suppose that's part of the fun.
Yeah, it is. You know, Dale Earnhardt's leading these points, and people are expecting him to kind of sit back and take it easy. He's standing on that thing. He wants to lead every lap and try to win them all. And of course, Rusty's the same way. And Terry Labonte just might get them both from back there in 3rd. This is a great race. I'm really enjoying it.
From 12th position, Earnhardt came tonight. From 5th came Wallace. Here they are, still out. Earnhardt looking for that 63rd win in his career. And Rusty Wallace right there. If Wallace has a steering problem tonight, folks, And he does. I don't think there's much question about that. But look at him. And, you know, if Earnhardt had a problem, it would be the same thing. They are such masters.
There's got to be a whole lot wrong for them to drop off the pace.
If Ernie Irvin is watching tonight, Ernie, this ought to make you feel plumb better. What great racing by a couple of your pals. Wallace currently tied with Bobby Isaac with 37 victories. 14th in the all-time win list. Here he goes again. Now they stack them about 3 wide. Now take a look at 29 and 43 at it. 7th place. Give it to 29. Grissom. Alabama takes Pennsylvania in the back straightaway. Gosh, that's great racing. Back with Earnhardt. And Wallace. And look at Earnhardt. Fade that car to the outside. Keep those RPMs up. It's almost like he's baiting him.
Yeah, he likes the high line here at Richmond. He just experiments and works it up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. By the end of the race, sometimes he's running pretty high on the racetrack, but he's still going awful fast. He just makes it work. He figures it out. But this is still playing to Terry's advantage here. He's getting the rest of his tires a little bit more. He can use the entire track. He can go low in the corners and drift out wide in the straightaways. Oh, he's taking a look 3 wide.
Wow. Oh, gosh. Folks, this is at lap 295. If you're just joining us, we're live in Richmond International Raceway's 3/4-mile track tonight here on TBS. And you've got 4 top cars all in here together. Lap after lap, Wallace versus Earnhardt. Oh, this is remarkable. Second at Darlington was Earnhardt just last week. Extended his lead by some 26 points. He's had 4 top 5 finishes in the last 5 races. Looks like he's trying to extend it tonight. And look at Wallace come right back up in there and try to muscle his way through. Almost touching.
This is good stuff. They're really running hard for the lead. Terry's back there just wanting to get by. And Jeff George is pretty much in the thick of this, too. It's a great race tonight. It really is.
And I can't emphasize enough for new folks that might be watching for the first time and just joining us. You've got to get out to the racetrack and see it for yourself. But when they dive into turn number 1, that's over 100. Oh, look at that little bobble. Wallace looks like he's going to throw that car away lap after lap, and he just won't give it up. Now he's being forced to. You can see the 5 car, Labonte, trying to edge his way in. 3-way struggle for the lead. Lapping Hut Strickland. On board with Rusty Wallace.
He's going to have to let that right rear tire cool down just for a minute here. He broke it loose pretty good the previous lap coming off turn 4. And then opened the door for Terry to jump on the inside of him. And then Rusty really couldn't give him a fair race because they come up on Hut Strickland, and Rusty had to let off and get back in line. The outside lane was kind of blocked. But now Terry can get up there and see what he can do with Dale. It's interesting.
Well, here's Earnhardt back in front. Last week at Darlington, what happened out there, Earnhardt, when you seem to be letting people by? Were you protecting your point lead there?
I was running it hard as the racetrack had let me. Somebody said, well, he took it easy because he's running for the points, but really I ran it as hard as the racetrack would let me and without getting in trouble, and we just got loose. But still, it coming from 27th starting position at Darlington and finishing that well, I was happy. And I'd like to win our 10th one there, but and that $100,000 bonus, it wasn't meant to be. We'll get them this week.
He's getting them right now, but Labonte's about to get him back. The 2-time winner of this race, Earnhardt, challenged by Texas, Terry Labonte, down on the bottom. Couple of Chevys mixing it up right now. The Richard Childress team with that good wrench number 3. Still keeping the nose out in front, but Labonte dominating that time into the corner. The Earnhardt car just works better on the outside, Chuck Bound.
Yeah, it does. You know, Dale doesn't have to change his line one bit when these guys want to challenge him on the inside. Dale's running up there anyway. But when Terry and Rusty go down to the inside and try to challenge Dale, they've got to keep their car pinched getting off that second turn. And it's hard on their tires, but Terry's good. He just got on by.
303 laps. This Rebestis aerial platform giving you these remarkable pictures of a three-way battle for the lead at Richmond that has swapped back and forth in the last 30 laps between this trio. All of a sudden, Terry Labonte asserting himself and drawing away by as much as 4 car lengths for the moment. Huh. Well, for the moment. That moment was about the length of the backstretch. 660 or 80 feet, and now it's gone away again. Here comes Wallace. Says, thank you very much. I don't care if the rubber is coming off the back of this car. Now look at 21 and 28 further back, and they're battling just as hard further into the back of this field. That's 14th position. They're running a lap down. Kenny Wallace in the 28 and the 21 of Morgan Shepherd.
Hey, if Kenny's fought his way back up to 14th, that's not bad when you start out lap 1 of a 400-lap race and you're down a lap and your toe end's messed up, and you know he doesn't give up either. He's a racer.
Morgan Shepherd looks like he has a handful at this point. And here comes Kenny Wallace taking another position back for Robert Yates Racing in that Ernie Irvin car. Incidentally, while we were following that great race up in front among the 3, this has been going on for 14. So double your money's worth. Like that chewing gum.
Anywhere
double
you look
your
out
pleasure.
here, you see these cars side by side all night long. Just
triple or
racing,
quadruple.
racing, racing.
You get out of a race like this and you go to the other guy and say, wow, right?
Man, that was fun. Yeah. As long as he doesn't land you too hard and rub you up against the fence, then you might go over and say something else. It's been a pretty clean race tonight, though. It really has.
Morgan is scrambling to hold that 21. You could see him off turn 2 that time, having to take a second set. And again.
And Kenny might get cleared of him this time. It was so much easier if he could just get by him and use that whole racetrack. You can run faster and be easier on your tires. No, he hasn't made it yet.
Every time he gets it right up to the edge right there, and he has to just give it that extra little set. May have him here. Let's see what happens. Outside line. Now, Kenny's pulled away.
He's got the spot.
More from Richmond. It's great racing in a moment.
On the next National Geographic Explorer, it's a record-setting flight around the world, and you're in the cockpit. The last great adventure of the weekend. National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern, Sunday night, only on TBS.
Every year, millions of gallons of motor oil are poured down drains, dumped on the ground, and tossed into landfills. It's a crying shame for the environment and for everybody in it. That's why Advance Auto Parts provides free oil recycling at every store 7 days a week. Bring your used motor oil to Advance and make the future a cleaner, safer, happier place. For all of us.
You want to be champions? Then play like champions. You got to be relentless. You got to be clever. You've got speed. Use it.
One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
Genuine Chevrolet.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back.
You'll get more here, and you'll spend less here. Guaranteed.
Sunday night, the Giants and the Cardinals can't wait to test each other to see what Buddy Ryan's got up his sleeve. The Giants, the Cardinals, tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, right after the Stadium Show at 7:30 on TNT.
We're back with you live at Richmond International Raceway in the Miller Genuine Draft 400 after 315 laps. the 1984 Winston Cup champion, looking for his 12th victory in this great series, is leading at the present time. Terry Labonte is there with Wallace, Earnhardt, Gordon chasing after him tight. There you see that interval from that first place car back to the second place man on the field. Rusty Wallace, then Earnhardt, then Gordon, Rudd 5th, Martin 6th. Grissom is in 7th, followed by Andretti in 8th, and Ken Schrader in the 9th position. Back to 10th, it is Brett Bodine, and in 11th is Darrell Waltrip. Here's the 28 car. Now, just after we saw that great battle a few moments ago, just a wonderful war with 21 Morgan Shepherd. But as we went away to commercial, he had a big problem.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he must have cut a tire completely down and tried to just stop and cut it into the pits all at once. And I don't know how they all missed him, but Brett Bodine and Morgan Shepherd did a great job of splitting Kenny and heading on both sides, and he got in safely.
I'd say that was a lucky maneuver more than anything else for Kenny Wallace in the 28 car, who's now back in 20th position, and he's looking up from under a 3-lap deficit.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. He fought himself up from that, first lap problem to, looking for a pretty respectable finish, but now he's cut a tire down.
Well, there's the 43, John Andretti, 8th position. In 7th, just in front of him, Grissom, and Mark Martin, front of the 6s and 6. You see the number 18 car, Joe Gibbs rig. Dale Jarrett, he's 16th on the field at the present time, running a couple of laps down from the leader. But John Andretti has put the old STP colors back up in the top 10. Looks and feels good.
He's had it up there in the top 10 just about the entire race. He's doing good.
And he'll go on to the next event at Dover next Sunday on the Monster Mile. That's next Sunday, then Martinsville, then North Wilkesboro. Then we'll rejoin you at Charlotte for the 500. Can't wait for that one. As you look at that rundown at 319, field is now on 322. We give you the rundown at 319. Back through the field, remind you there have been 5 cautions, 35 laps under yellow, 13 lead changes among 6 drivers tonight, but that doesn't tell the story. There have been about 30 lead changes. Those lead changes only at the start-finish line. And that Earnhardt-Wallace battle, that was out of every second turn they were swapping them. Get an update on Earnhardt. Randy Pemberton can tell us more.
It's a heck of an interesting story down here. You're looking at a shot of Mike Moore. He is Earnhardt's jackman at the present. He's not the jackman that started out tonight. That was Woody Chavis. He was filling in for the guy that used to jack the car, and that's David Smith. He's been here forever. He had his tonsils out. That's not even the ironic thing. What happened is on the second stop of the night, Woody Chavis, he finished up. Mike Moore, who you're looking at now, he came over to jack the car. He cut the index finger off on his left hand from the top knuckle up. He told his parents not to worry about it, but that's what happened. He continued to jack the car. He finished it, went over to the doctors. He asked if he could sew it back on. They said no. He said, I'd like to jack the car the rest of the night. They said, well, if it won't kill you, you can do it. But he's out here jacking the car with a huge, huge injury.
That's unbelievable.
I thought only race car drivers did that stuff.
Battle
crew members are just as dedicated.
Just as tough and just as dedicated, as is David Smith.
Yes.
Boy, David Smith gets a lot of points. Offered a wonderful prayer to Ernie Irvin. And David,
it's quite a guy we miss.
Appreciate it.
Hurry up and get back.
Yep. Now look at Gordon getting into the bottom of the racetrack and finding the line working. And Earnhardt working him over a little. Labonte stays first. Wallace, for the moment, is second. This is the third. Earnhardt has won short track race in '94. He won at Bristol. Wallace has taken a couple. He won that second race. Bristol also won Martinsville. And Martinsville's coming up in a couple of weeks again. Last year, Wallace dominated on those short tracks. until the end of the season, when all of a sudden Mark Martin just mowed down everything for a while. Dick Berggren can fill us in more on Ray Evernham, the crew chief on this 24 car. Jeff Gordon fighting for third.
Well, it's quite a story, Ken Squire. Ray Evernham's grandmother, Maggie Bailey, 85 years old, called Ray the other day, said she had just been into a department store, and she said, Ray, I'm so impressed. They have Jeff Gordon hats, Jeff Gordon shirts, Jeff Gordon plastic model cars, but she said, Ray, it just brought me to tears when I saw the Ray Evernham race car. It's wonderful, Ray, but can you please do something about those Fords? Maggie Bailey, 85 years old, grandmother to Ray Evernham, tonight is locked in her apartment with the telephone off the hook, as she always is during a Winston Cup race, watching her grandson perform.
And there's the grandson. What a smart cookie he is. What a great combination that 24 is. And they're proving it right here. Back to the bottom. And look at Earnhardt, so smooth. When you go by him, you've done a day's work.
He doesn't let you by, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know you've been in a race, and you can finally make a maneuver on him.
Gordon, he did it right. He's tried it a couple of times, and he backed off and cooled things down, give it another run. And this time he completed the pass. He'll be able to pull on away for a little while now, but it's just hard to say. This long run starting to play to Terry Labonte's his benefit. As crew chief talked about earlier when he was a long run, and he's starting to inch away a little bit from Rusty and Dale and Jeff and these guys. And, it took a while, but he's starting to get away.
We were talking earlier about these Winston Cup drivers and why they are so successful. They spend so much time with their fans, and every so often somebody gets it. There was a letter in Winston Cup scene, Deborah Franklin, who was down in Georgia. She wrote a note to the paper and said, I think all athletes, baseball, basketball, football, any sport, should realize it's the fans who have made them what they are. And in no sport does that statement ring more true than in this sport. You can come up almost any time, and you're pretty apt to get an autograph, even if it's moments before they're going to go out and do their thing, or 2 hours after they've won this race. At Richmond, we're 336 laps deep.
Sunday night, the Giants and the Cardinals can't wait to test each other to see what Buddy Ryan's got up his sleeve. The Giants, the Cardinals, tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, right after the stadium show at 7:30 on TNT.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Your credit line has nothing to do with your value as a person, okay? Sure, Gold MasterCard has a credit line of at least $5,000, but that doesn't make you a better person. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, if knowing that no Gold card is more accepted on the planet lets you relax and just have fun, then yeah, I suppose it could have some effect. And you can use your Gold MasterCard at cash machines all over the world, so you can get money in drachmas or lire or seashells, so you can tip generously. Which any waiter will tell you is the true measure of how good a person you are. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money.
The car on the right was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the other with conventional oil. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it needs a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
We're back with you at Richmond, and we are in the window of opportunity for green flag pit stops. Last one, second place car, Rusty Wallace on pit road. Dick Berggren's there.
Well, Freddie Parrott is out there with his screen cleaning along the front of the radiator, getting rid of the tire debris. They have been working on the tire setup for this last pit constantly since the last time they were into the pit. This is the most critical stop of the day. Rusty does a great stop, 16.81. Good stop for Rusty Wallace on those 4 tires. These should last him the rest of the race.
Mark Martin in 6th position coming on pit road as Wallace comes out. You're riding with Martin as he makes what could be his last stop if it stays green. And Labonte is also coming out of pit road, the leader. As he eases down, Randy standing by. Earnhardt is now pitting.
Coming in, too.
Terry Labonte comes to a sliding stop in the Kellogg Chevrolet. Right side tires already going on. Mike Slattery loosening the left side lug nuts. It's a 4-tire stop for Terry Labonte. Walter Smith and the Jack goes underneath the left side of the car. A little miscue. Jack is up. The brakes are absolutely on fire on the left front of this automobile. Jack is down, carries away, pushed away.
21.6 on a 4-tire change. Chassis adjustment on car number 3 as it comes out. 3 rounds of wedge into that car number 3, and Earnhardt's back out. Here's Gordon coming in.
I'll tell you, when Rusty's off the pit stop, man, he's about a full straightaway ahead of Terry Labonte, and more than that ahead of Dale Earnhardt right now. So, you know, with 55 rounds to go, these guys are going to have a hard time catching him under the green.
Dick Bergen.
Well, the teams were all going to wait until about lap 250, but when Rusty came in, all the rest of them were in too. Darren Jolly, Mike Trow, John Parker, Andy Papa, and Robert Bresnahan working now. That's the over-the-wall crew on Jeff Gordon's car. Taking the windshield down. 17.3 for Jeff Gordon on that 4-tire change.
Labonte having trouble. That's we have Gant in, Hamilton's in, Cope is in. Leader at the moment is this man, number 17, Waltrip, collecting 5 points. Fords have won 12 of the last 14 races. During that span, the only 2 wins for Chevrolet. Jeff Gordon. An incredible win at Charlotte. And equally remarkable, Indianapolis. Brickyard 400. Now the cars on fresh tires beginning to zip through. Hello, there goes Earnhardt, 75, it's been in. Todd Bodine. But Waltrip for the moment has the lead. Dave Marcus has just pitted. Dick Trickle has come in.
Yeah, I think Dick Trickle had moved up to 2nd position with the other green flag pit stop, so he's still having a good night. He's in the pits now, giving up that position. So I'll tell you, though, Rusty's pit stop, I don't know how he did it, but he's a straightaway ahead of everybody now. He wasn't even leading the race before they come in under the green. It was one heck of a pit stop when it really counted. Terry Labonte's just driving the wheel above that thing, trying to get back up there, but boy, time's not on his side right now.
Those Parrots, they're wise old birds on pit road. And Buddy Parrott really does a number on putting together a team for the pit road that will effectively get you back in this race. When you give him time on pit road, he'll give it back to you in time. Here's the 10 and the 3 in their scramble. This is for 6th position. 10 has it for the moment. Rudd, here comes Earnhardt, pacing himself and driving. This at lap 350. 50 laps remaining. Waltrip pitting, gives up that lead. Car number 17, the Western Auto car, is in. So that puts Wallace into 1st. It will move car number 5, Labonte, into 2nd. It'll give Gordon 3rd. Check in on your leader here. Rusty Wallace leading 3 1/10 seconds, by which Wallace has the advantage. And we'll try to watch him here, Chuck, and see how that car is working compared to how we saw it earlier.
Well, it just looked pretty good around turns 1 and 2.
Didn't it?
Right down on that yellow line. In fact, I think it was under the yellow line a little bit. So it's doing what Rusty wants it to do right now.
3 10 for 4th place. Earnhardt into 4th. Rudd in 5th.
One of the competitors, Ken Squire, for that fourth place battle may not be around much longer. Ricky Rudd reporting on the radio, he's feeling a motor vibration in the Tide Ford. That would be a shame indeed with less than 50 laps to go.
It would be a shame indeed. 7th place in the hopper right now. The 29, Grissom, around the 26. Grissom setting Brett Bodine back another time. What a struggle that's been.
They have raced each other all night. The only question is, where's Andretti? He's been right with them most of the night, too. He must be close one way or the other.
Well, he's fallen back a bit. They show him in 10th position now, and he was in 11th, so John's coming back up another time. In fact, John Andretti is really doing a good job, and he may be getting the 10 car at this point. Like he has. I'd say he's in the 9th. Here's Wallace in that lead. We'll check that interval. Remember, we gave it to you as 3 1/10, and I think it's shrinking.
It looks like it is.
Dick Bergeron down there with Buddy Parrott, the crew chief for Rusty Wallace.
Well, Buddy Parrott, after that last round of pit stops, how is your car behaving?
Well, I hope I asked the right question. The pit stop was a great pit stop. Rusty's doing a heck of a job. You know, we've been adjusting on the car all night. This Miller Genuine Grass 4 is running great. We just like to win the race tonight for the people up there in the box. So, anyway, what else can I say? We're just going to hang on here and see what we can do.
Is the steering all right?
Well, the steering's still kind of hard, but, you know, it's not working like it should. But Rusty said it'd be okay to finish the race. So, hopefully we can hang on and get a few more points tonight.
2 1/10 seconds. Now the interval. It was almost 4 when he came out. So there's no question that Terry Labonte is catching up Rusty Wallace. Is there time? Yep. 359 laps are down. Plenty of time.
It's going to be good. It's going to come right down to the end because the harder Terry pushes that thing, the more tire difficulty he might have, but his car's been awful good on long runs, and I'm sure he's pushing it hard as it'll go. So this is going to keep my attention.
There you see the 24 coming through. I'll take a look at the 3 car and the 10. Earnhardt coming by, and with him comes Ricky Rudd. That's 4th and 5th. Just a little under 2 seconds between 1st and 2nd now, as Labonte continues to nip away at Wallace's lead.
Now, he's significantly faster. You can see a gain of a couple car lengths every lap.
10 car, we mentioned earlier it may be having a problem. Rudd, let's check in and get more on that story.
Well, he definitely is. It's a possible broken valve spring is what they're saying right now. He has a little trouble getting up off the corner. Chuck, do you think he can nurse it for 38 laps with a valve spring? What kind of problem will that pose for the rest of the night?
Well, I think basically it'll just cost a little horsepower, but I think it should finish the race if it's only a valve spring. It'll just cost a little bit of the power, but he should be able to still race Dale Earnhardt.
4th and 5th position right there.
It's really not like losing a whole cylinder even. It's just a little bit of power loss. So I don't think it'll cause them a lot of problems if that's all that's wrong.
He's actually closing a little right there, which would make you wonder about that 3 car tonight. The one that really seems strong is Terry Labonte.
Yeah.
That car has been pretty much bulletproof from the outset, and it's cut the lead down to 1.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Good battle here. 4th at stake.
Rusty's starting to catch some lap traffic too, which is probably going to hold him up just a little bit. I think Terry's going to be there with another lap now. They're catching him and passing him on 2 different times. Terry's awful good. Maybe he can do it.
Back up in front. There you see Terry Labonte closing in again. He's got Lake Speed and Rick Mast Sandwiched between him, Labonte in second, and number 2, Wallace, the leader. Wallace almost squaring that corner as he came off that time.
Well, Terry is really, his team is really hitting the combination tonight. That car has been just unbelievable all night long.
Car 28, Kenny Wallace off the pace, Chuck.
Rolling up and down there. Oh, he's going behind the wall.
So he'll become the 5th official retiree from the event. Break for him.
You don't see that car drop out of very many races.
Labonte is definitely closing down on car number 2.
Yeah, he can see him right there now.
This is lap 368. Average speed for this race stays at 103.092 miles per hour. 5 cautions, 35 laps. Kyle Petty was the first out. Jeremy Mayfield crashed later. And there's that interval down to about 6/10.
They're pretty much in the same camera frame now. It's going to be a dogfight.
Jeff Green is out of this race. Jimmy Spencer's retired. Now Kenny Wallace.
Well, as fast as Terry has run Rusty down, though, I think Rusty's going to have an awful hard time holding him off with 30 laps to go. He's not quite there, but he's just so close. He can smell him now.
Yeah, there are 30 laps to go, and he'll use that lap traffic for everything it's worth. The spotters help you with that?
Yeah, they do. They try to, ask him when they're catching him, and it means the race and all, and second place is breathing in your neck. They'll try to get him to, hey, tell you got to get out of our way. We're coming in a hurry. We've got some heat from second place, but sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
We'll take a final commercial break here and then be back for the finish of this event as car number 5 closes in on Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft 400 at Richmond International Raceway before a sellout house of over 72,000.
I hear Garth Brooks is in the building today.
Oh, I just got a CD at McDonald's. Oh.
Garth's favorite.
It's gotten much too young and wild. Let that one go.
Oh, the white line.
Guy puts on a cowboy hat and suddenly he thinks he's Garth Brooks.
Get Garth's favorites. Each full-length CD is just $5.99. Each cassette $3.99 when you buy any extra value meal or large sandwich. Or get these other hot artists. $1 from each CD and cassette benefits Ronald McDonald Children's Charities.
What you want is what you get.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
As your engine revs higher, the oil inside creates a hydrodynamic wedge, a protective layer that builds up and keeps engine parts separated. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. Try Super Clean, the Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser from Castrol.
Well, that's how quickly things change around here. Terry Labonte just motored on by, just like he was driving down the interstate. Waved at Rusty and said bye-bye. No battle at all. Just literally steamed by him on that back straightaway like this.
He didn't even have to follow him a lap. Just as quick as he got to him, he had the acceleration coming off the second turn. He just got under him, and away he went. His car is really, really good tonight. Those guys have done their homework.
Hardly had time to put the directional signal on, and he was by.
I'm curious if that's the same car he had at North Wilkesboro with an awful strong layer this spring on the long green flag stretches. I wonder if that's the same race car or a new one or a different one.
Well, Labonte is back in front. Wallace is in second. Gordon finds himself third. Earnhardt is fourth. Rudd is in fifth. Martin is sixth. And Steve Grissom finds himself seventh, with eighth currently belonging to Brett Bodine, then Schrader, and rounding out the top 10 is John Andretti. And as you ride with Rusty Wallace, he's still got a handful. Works his way through 2 and up in 4. He's having a lot of fun with that car as well. Take a look at the running order now as you watch Terry Labonte seeking victory here at Richmond this evening. It has been some run for Labonte. He has been strong all night. He has asserted himself, led the most laps. We'll bring you up to date on that as he goes after career win number 12. Wallace, his record's not so bad here. 2 wins, 2 second places coming into the night. So if he stays where he is right now, give him 3 seconds and 2 firsts in his last 5 outings here. You see Bill Elliott's car number 11. He's running in 15th position, being shown a lap down, a couple of laps down. Started last on the field, worked his way up through, got caught early in the pits on a caution, and he's still doing very well with this after that great win at Darlington a week ago. The car number 7 is in 18th. That's Jeff Bodine. He had a terrific night going. And from Jeff Bodine's viewpoint, here's Terry Labonte trying to put him down another lap. By the way, the record for this race, a 104, that's in jeopardy right now. They're averaging 103.561. Whoa! What was all that about on Labonte?
I don't know. He's running hard. He's got it pretty well filled up. I don't think it's wiggling around. I think that was more Jeff's car than it was Terry's car. I'm not really sure.
Watch it again.
There he goes.
Now he goes down to the inside and gets under Jeff. Off 2. Having trouble getting by for a moment, then easily makes the mark going into 3. Let's pan back and show you the other ones, and you can get a sense of the interval here as we get down towards show and tell time at 3:85. There's Wallace in 2nd place.
Rusty's just kind of watching Terry pull off away. I mean, he had a great pit stop and had a full straightaway on him there for a minute, but Terry was just too strong.
Here's Jeff Gordon, and he's in 3rd.
He's been up there all night. Just not quite a contender for the win, but real close, real strong.
Loy Allen pitting there as he came by him. And here comes 4th place. There's number 3, Earnhardt, coming by. And the 10 car will be coming up 5th.
He's still looking at him. He's only got about 15 laps left to do it.
Mark Martin is in 6th. And Steve Grissom stays 7th. Brett Bodine in 8th. Schrader is 9th, and in 10th is Andretti. Andretti there. Looking for Schrader at the present time, see if he can run it. And Andretti has kept that 43 car up in this lead lap all night. It's been a long time since you've seen those fellas doing that well this late in the game.
This is going to be his best Winston Cup finish tonight, it looks like it. I think just hang on here for the last 2 laps.
Todd Bodine's number 75 had some problems early, and NASCAR took away a lap from him, but he's still running 21st on the field. You see Todd going through there right behind John Andretti. The 11 car just scooted by Rusty Wallace coming down the main straightaway here. Bill Elliott, that 15th place car. And it looks to me like number 2 is not running as well as it did earlier.
Not sure. Huh? I think with the in-car shot there, I saw a little smoke in the inside of the cockpit there. Maybe it's something to do with that steering problem or something. I'm not sure. It looks like he's just going to try to nurse it home, but he's going to lose some position. It's going to cost him. Jeff Gordon going on by. And now he's got to worry about Dale Earnhardt catching him. There's 9 laps to go, and if he drops off the pace like he is, he may be in jeopardy of a top 5 even.
Gordon for 2nd. Wallace, number 2, falls to 3rd. Earnhardt moving in on him.
That's frustrating. Run that hard all night, 390 laps, and now it starts causing problems.
Dick Berggren.
Buddy Parrott, the car's dropping back. What's wrong?
I don't know. Maybe broke a valve spring or something. But we're just trying to get the thing to finish the race. And Rusty drove a great race. And it was a lot of fun tonight. Terry, Lamani, my hat's off to that crew. They did a great job. The car ran great. And anyway, we had a great night. And just want to come back to Dover and do what we did last night.
And when they asked on the radio if he could finish, Rusty said, I don't know.
You saw some smoke that last lap as he went down into turn number 1. Big plume coming out of the back of that car, and he is really trying to nurse this one home, trying to coddle the number 2 into any kind of a finish. 3:93 complete. This time by. Lots more smoke.
Yeah, right now he's in a situation where how bad do you want to finish the race? Because he's trying to push that throttle down to the floor on those straightaways. Probably not going to make it. It's very few laps left, but it's going in a hurry. Whatever's going, it's going pretty good.
Hey, welcome to the old days. 43 and 17, folks. They're going at it for 10th spot. This time it's John Andretti for the Petty Colors and old DW. This is for 10th. Darrell tries to nose down to the bottom under John. Gets him a little high. Here they are at the line, and it's going to be Darrell Waltrip up there. Now John Andretti comes right back after him. Darrell has it for the moment. Turn 2. Waltrip has the spot down the backstretch. John Andretti fights his way right back on the outside. What a great track Richmond is. You want to see them run side by side. This is the place, as Brigham said. 4 to go.
Darrell hasn't cleared him yet, John. There he goes. There he goes. He's got it. That crafty old experience has paid off.
Yeah, that crafty old DW. 10th place. Wait for the leader right here. Take a look for your favorites here as we get down to the end of this one. And the favorite tonight looks to be Terry Labonte. I guess he ate his breakfast cereal this morning. What a show he's put on.
And with a lap and a half to go, it looks like Dale's going to go by 2. Looks like Dale's going to beat Rusty. Rusty didn't need that in his championship hunt, but I don't think he can stop it.
That's back for 3rd. We talked about at the outset of tonight's race, Rusty Wallace trying to nurse it home. White flag is out around the track. And Wallace loses another spot going into the corner. Checkers about to fall. And the 12th career win is about to be recorded by Terry Labonte for Rick Hendrick. Will be Gordon in 2nd, and we'll see the 3 come across just in front. Earnhardt just in front of Rusty Wallace in 3rd and 4th. So Chevrolet has won only 3 of the last 15 races. Hendrick Motorsports cars have won all 3 of those. Jeff Gordon with 2, and now tonight, number 5, Terry Labonte, wins here at Richmond International Raceway for that great team from Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll meet the winner in a moment down in Victory Lane. Terry Labonte.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah. Kellogg's Corn Flakes? How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
You guys aren't alike, even though you're brothers, huh?
He likes to go swimming in the swamps. I like to hang out at the mall.
What kind of batteries you guys use?
Duracell.
Oh, you both use Duracell batteries, huh?
Yeah.
And why do you think they last a long time?
They got lots of energy.
And lots of energy? What do you think?
Quality.
Quality. He's going to be a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. And what are you going to be?
I might be a kickboxer or a bouncer.
Oh, a bouncer. You'll need a lawyer.
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
Anyone know why?
5G's hurts. When the car fires up, it's power. It's talking to me. All I hear is music. And you hit the throttle. It pulls your head back and it wants to rip it off. It's you, the competition, and everything has to be just right.
Pure oil now.
Man, from that time on, all you can think about is winning.
Pure oil leader.
Man, that's a ride.
Legends live. Pure leader.
The Miller Genuine Draft 400 is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars. By Peerless Faucet, get more out of your faucet than just water. And by Chevy Truck, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Terry Labonte about to clamber out of car number 5 after his 12th career win. Comes at Richmond International Raceway in an outstanding performance. Let's get on to Randy with our champion tonight.
Terry Labonte taking a breath. Congratulations, your 12th career win. It's been a long time since you had a car that could dominate a race like that. You had a great, great car tonight.
I tell you, we really did. We were fast off the truck, fast every practice period. I didn't think it was this good, though. I knew the 2 car was going to be tough, and the 6 car was tough, and the 3 car. And I'll tell you, we were really fortunate. The Hendrick team did great tonight, first and second. Gary DeHart and all the guys did a great job. Want to dedicate this to our friend Ernie Irvin. I hope he's watching us. We miss him, wish him well, and hope he's back as soon as possible.
Terry, how concerned were you getting beat out of the pits the last stop? Rusty had a huge lead on you.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how fast their pit stop was. Ours were good, and they had a great one. I was concerned. I said, man, I don't know if I can run him down or not. His car looked a little bit too loose, though, and then that hurt him in traffic, and that's when I made up all my time.
What do you mean driving a Ferrari? You came over the radio and you said you wanted to drive a Ferrari. I think you should give it to you, Rick. Rick, give him a Ferrari. Rick Hendrick, car owner, of course.
I kind of set him up on that. I waited until the white flag lap.
He wanted the use of Rick's Ferrari for a week. Let's go to Dick Bergen, who's with Rusty Wallace. Tough break for Rusty tonight.
Well, Rusty Earnhardt just came by and accused you of smoking him out. What happened to this thing?
I lost the motor with like 10 or about 15 laps to go, I guess. I noticed it would start smelling real bad. And so I don't know if we lost a piston or what was going on, but it had a really good horsepower all night long. And then right there at the end, something happened. You know, we did all our practicing and we raced the same engine. And I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we've always done it in the past since work. But get a little too many miles on the motors that way. But, yeah, we just lost a piston or something. But the car handled good. Terry was just better than I was. You know, I had a strong second-place car, had a killer pit stop right there at the end that got me up in a big lead, but, you know, I just couldn't roll through the center as fast as I needed to. And like I say, everything was fine. I just got beat tonight, and then right there at the end, I just milked the engine, trying not to blow it up, and that's the reason I had to let the 3-car by right there, the lap to go, because I didn't want to have a DNF.
And he did a good job. He did finish in the top 5. Averaged 104.039 miles per hour to win here tonight. That was Terry Labonte finishing in second, Gordon, Earnhardt third, Wallace fourth, Rudd fifth, and Martin sixth. More in a moment.
On the next National Geographic Explorer, it's a record-setting flight around the world, and you're in the cockpit. The last great adventure of the weekend, National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern, Sunday night, only on TBS.
Something happening here. What it is exactly clear. Now we stop to what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold. Nothing is tougher on dirt. Than a 191 horsepower Chevy S-Series extended cab 4x4. Chevy trucks like a rock.
As your engine revs higher, the oil inside creates a hydrodynamic wedge, a protective layer that builds up and keeps engine parts separated. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. Try Super Clean, the Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser from Castrol.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Observe dry eyes, red eyes, symptoms for which science created Clear Eyes. Unlike the other leading eye drop, Clear Eyes removes redness and as an ingredient to moisturize. The difference is clear. Clear Eyes.
Welcome back to Richmond. The evening's competition over. The Miller Genuine Draft 400 in the books tonight on TBS. Terry Labonte, the winner over Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace soldiering on to finish fourth. And Rudd and Mark Martin. Back here at the STP Pit Communication Center, a couple of pieces of business we need to wrap up for you tonight. The Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award to the 2-car. Buddy Parrott, the crew chief. Rusty Wallace's crew got him out of the pits consistently inside 16 seconds tonight. Gave him the lead with less than 80 laps to go tonight. He couldn't hold on, but certainly they win the award tonight. And Advanced Auto makes a donation on behalf of the Miller Genuine Draft Team and TBS Sports to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. The Liquid Wrench slickest move of the night had to be Terry Labonte's slick pass of Rusty Wallace with just a handful of laps to go. As we showed you, he came inside of Rusty's car. Terry did, coming off the second corner, breezed by and eased on to victory tonight. A good night for that team. Not only the victory and the slickest move award, Gary Dehart wins the Mechanic of the Race award tonight as well. We also want to share with you the winners of the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award. That's an award we talked about at the top of our broadcast tonight. The Diamond Ridge Motorsports team, the Gary Bechtel team. Steve Grissom is the driver of the 29 car. They win the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award tonight. UAW and GM teaming up to honor the team that exhibits the most teamwork during the event. They win a $5,000 prize tonight, and they're eligible for a $50,000 year-end award. Ken Squire?
Thank you, Rick Benjamin. Taking a look at the final standings tonight, Chevrolet came out with a vengeance. Labonte, Gordon, Earnhardt, as we review the top standings tonight. Hey, we had another sort of unusual record as you look at the top drivers this evening. We didn't expect it, but this has been a two-day event. We started on Saturday, and we concluded on Sunday, Chuck. This has become the first two-day Winston Cup race since we were out at Riverside, California in 1980, when we started on Sunday, January 13th, and concluded on Saturday, January 19th. Now, there's a mark for you. What'd you think of tonight's race?
I didn't realize it was that late. I thought it was a great show all the way. I really did. My hat's off to the Terry Labonte team. They did their homework to beat that 2-car and outrun it there at the end. And you know, they had a great day, and I think Rick Hendricks probably one happy man with first and second. I think his third car was in the top 10 as well, so a good day for the Rick Hendricks teams.
104.039 was the average speed, just under the 104.661, which was Wallace's record, and still far away from Davey Allison's mark of 107, fastest that's ever been turned on this track for the 400-lap distance. There are the points now, and Earnhardt leads Wallace by 232 as they head off to Dover, Delaware, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, and on to Charlotte, North Carolina, when we'll be with you next at October 9th. Thanks so much for being with us this evening, Chuck Bound. Now let's go back to the STP Pit Center and Rick Benjamin.
Thanks, Ken Squire. Chuck Bound, great call of tonight's action here at Richmond International Raceway. The Miller Genuine Draft 400 into the books tonight. Our congratulations to Terry Labonte. A reminder, we'll be back with you on TBS 4 weeks from this weekend, in fact, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Busch Grand National action on Saturday, Sunday, October the 9th at 1 o'clock Eastern on TBS. Our coverage of the Mellow Yellow 500 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage here tonight. For all of us at TBS Sports, we'll see you in a month at Charlotte. Thanks for watching.
the next National Geographic Explorer. It's a record-setting flight around the world, and you're in the cockpit. The last great adventure of the weekend. National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern, Sunday night, only on TBS.
This movie contains violent material which may be unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.
Home? Yeah. But how are you going to get the money? Don't you worry. I'm going to think of something. Sorry, my alarm. I work for a lousy check, and the government takes half of it. I can't even pay the rent.
Hey, forget about it. Come on back to bed.
I've got a job to do.
The only job you gotta do is on me. Oh, come on. You know what I mean.
All I know is I want you out of here when I get back.